So this is my data set again on the Power BI trainings. This is my data set day one. So what I would request everyone to do is to open the day one file first.
Okay.
Okay. Just give me a heads up once you have opened the day one file, everyone.
Yeah, it's open now.
Okay, good. So once the file is open, right? So go to the file and then click on save as and then mention it as day two. Okay. And then
Yeah,
just give apply later.
give me a moment, Lakshmi. It's
Yeah.
opening actually.
The reason why we are opening the day one file, the last week file, and then converting into today's day one, day two file is only for you to understand at any given point in time. You can understand like how from the day one you're evolving to till the last day, how you are going to increase your knowledge on the Power BI and how handful experience you are having on this particular files. So which means if you have done this activity, then you should see day two file. While you're saving, just take a look. Don't save within the dataset, save outside the dataset. So which means basically you should have two files like this, day one and day two. Let me know once you guys are done.
Yeah, it is done. Only thing is this in the upside in this Power BI, this there is apply changes. What should I do? This apply changes, discard
No,
changes.
just I'll tell you. Just hold on there.
Okay.
Let me take a confirmation from everyone. Suchitra, Samir, and Sunil.
Yeah, it's done for me.
Okay,
Yes, done.
good. Suchitra, have you done? Okay, good. So which means if everyone have saved this file as a day two, then you should see a file like this. Okay. Now the very first thing what we will do is let's go to the Power Query editor screen. So how do I go to the Power Query editor screen?
Transform and first option.
Yeah, click on the transform data directly. So it will take you to the Power Query editor screen. Good. So once it goes to the Power Query editor screen, you should see all the queries that you have loaded from the last session. Okay. And also after you have done this, you might observe on the top, it could say there is an option here that might say very clearly, the data is 7 days old or something. If in
Mm,
case it is showing like that, well and good. If not, is also well and good. So if
yeah,
in
it's
case
fine.
you see, yeah, if in case it shows like that, then go to the home tab on the Power Query editor screen. Go to the home tab. Under the
Mm,
query group, you will see an option called refresh preview. Okay, click on the drop down of the refresh preview, and there is an option called refresh all. So
Yeah.
once again, I repeat, it
Excuse
is,
me, sir.
yeah.
I'm not able to navigate.
Have you update? Okay, are you on the Power Query editor screen?
Sit. Just one time. Yes, it is coming like this. Where should I go from? So
Are you on the
from home should I go for data transfer data?
Yeah, click on the transform data.
Okay.
You should see the Power Query editor screen.
I'm not able to see why.
You're not able to see the Power Query editor.
No,
Okay, do you want to share your screen? I believe you're not able to
I think I'm not able to find. Please help me.
share your screen, please.
No. To send a dashboard.
Are you able to
Okay,
see?
I'm able to see the screen. Open the Power BI screen, please.
Yeah, it is in Power BI screen. Day
No,
two
no,
is coming.
no. I'm able to see only the chat window. This meeting window. I believe you need to share the entire screen, not just the application.
Okay, okay. Yes, it is coming like this.
Right. Okay, just click on the refresh preview, drop down,
This one. Repair purview.
drop down, refresh all. Just wait. Let's see.
Okay. What was the issue?
No, I think you have canceled the refresh, I guess.
Okay, okay,
That's what I believe. There
okay,
shouldn't be any
okay.
other thing.
Okay, I got it. It's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. So
Yes, yes.
once you click on the refresh all, what is going to happen? It is going to refresh all the data sets, whatever you have loaded from the previous screen. So your day one file is not going to get disturbed or anything, but it is going to get updated till today. It is just going to update. So which means ideally, if there is any change that would have been happened in any one of these Excel files, then it is going to pick up this data. It is going to do an up to date. Okay.
Okay.
Now, so once you have all this information loaded, okay, so we have consolidated data and everything. Now, what I would request everyone to do is on the home tab, under the close group, you see this option called close and apply, right? Don't click on the drop down of in this, just click on the close and apply. Home tab, close group, click on the close and apply. So once you
Okay.
click on the close and apply, the Power Query editor screen will go off, and then you should see a window like this, which is coming up, and a load window will come up. So you should see all the queries are getting loaded over here.
Uh, uh,
Okay.
Lakshmi, I just missed it. This refresh all I have done. Then I need to go for the close and apply, right?
Yes, click on the close and apply.
Okay, okay.
So once you click on the close and apply, there should be a window like this, which is load, and then it is going to load all your data which you have been created will be loaded back onto the Power BI screen.
Yeah, it is coming.
Let me know if any one of you are having a trouble going back onto the Power BI screen and this is not getting loaded. Ideally, there shouldn't be any issue. This is what I'm expecting. You don't need to click on anywhere or do anything. Once you click on the close and apply, just relax. So this is just going to get updated, and then once it is updated, it will automatically close the window. And on successful load, you will see on the right hand side the data tables are being loaded, and you will not see anything over here. So you don't need to click on cancel or do anything. Just leave it as it is. It will automatically go off.
Okay.
So
So
it
if
is
this automatically go off, sorry,
coming in the data in the right hand side. Is it like that?
yeah, the tables are
Oh,
coming onto the right hand side on the table data table.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
So without any issues, if everything gets loaded, which means that you're in a good state right now. So is it loaded for everyone?
Yeah, it
Yes.
is loaded.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Suchitra, can you please confirm? Yeah, good. All right. So what we have done is, as I told you, this is a step-by-step phase. So initially we have loaded all the data onto the Power Query editor screen, and then we did some multiple changes over there, like adding of custom columns, and then we also did some merge queries, and we also have done the consolidated queries. Everything has been completed over there, and then once it is completed, we brought this information back onto the Power BI screen, which is the main screen for us, where we are going to do the visualizations and everything on this particular data. But however, before we do the visualizations or before we go ahead on the Power BI screen, let's understand what is there on the Power BI screen, and then we'll take it forward. So right now you don't need to do anything on your screens. Just watch my screen for a minute, and then you will do it whenever I say go ahead and do. You're going to execute that command. Okay. Now let's understand the Power BI screen here. On the Power BI screen, what you're going to see the moment once the data has been loaded, onto your right hand side, there is a field called the data. And under the data, whatever the tables that you have loaded so far, like consolidated, country master, KPA, all these tables are also going to get loaded onto the query screen. And if I open any one of this table, you should see certain information, whatever the information that we have loaded, everything gets updated over here. Okay. This is on the right hand side. But on the very left hand side, you will have three options mainly. One is called the report view, one is the data view, and one is your model view. Now we'll talk about all these three different views and then we'll take it forward. First thing, let's talk about the model view. Okay. And why is it important in Power BI on the data model view? And what is so helpful about the data model view? So let's click on the model view first, everyone. On your left hand side, click on the model view. So once you click on the model view, okay, you should see a screen like this, wherein you'll see the properties and then the data view, which remains the same. Only thing extra, what you're going to see is the properties. And on the left-hand side, on the canvas, okay, or I would
Yeah,
say on the, yeah, on this particular place, you're going to see your data, okay?
yeah,
So when I scroll down, when I scroll up, you will see all this information coming up. Now here, select any one of the table. Let's say I'm selecting Zomato NAM, which is visible for me. You can select any one of the table and then press Control A and tell me, are you able to see all the tables at one shot? Like the screen is going to get reset
yeah,
back to around 20% or 27 percentage.
yeah,
Yeah. It's
yeah. We
Now
can
you
see
should
same
that.
It is
see,
view.
not in my case. Hard to select it. I've selected, but it is not coming like
no, just select any one of the table and then do Control A command.
Control E.
Control A
Control
for
A.
all.
Okay, okay, got it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm getting it now.
So this is a place where you will see all your tables. Now let's understand what is this model view. In Power BI, what the model view say is you can load as many as your tables. When I say the tables, it is as equivalent as your queries. Okay. So you can load more of your queries. And once your queries have been loaded, every query will be loaded here automatically. Now, before we have performed the job like merge queries and consolidated query and all these, there are individual tables. Let's imagine. Now let's make a base. Let's understand this model view in a very simple and basic point. Now, what is the limitation on the model view and how many tables I can load on the model view? Let's understand this. You can load up to 75 tables here. Okay. So which means on your right hand side, whatever the data tables we have right now, I think we have got only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So right now we have got 10 tables. Now imagine if you are having more number of tables like this, around 75 tables. Okay, till 75 tables, the model view is going to show you all the 75 tables here on the screen. Now, what will happen if there are more than 75 tables on your database? Now, all the tables will not be shown up here. Rather, you will see a special screen wherein it says create your own group. Okay, create your own group. So within that particular create your own group, you can able to choose out of all the 75 tables, you can choose whatever the data table that you wanna show on the model view. It will only appear over there. Okay, this is a base point. So the limitation of adding the tables in the model view is up to 75. Up to 75. More than 75, it is going to ask you to create your custom layout. So once you create your custom layout, it is going to create your model according to your custom layout. Now that's the base point. Okay. Now let's look at the next point. Why is the model view is really important? Model view is important because it will help you to understand how each table is talking to each one of the table. For example, right now when I ask you to click on Control A, it is squeezed the screen and all the tables have been loaded here. And if you observe, or if I use my control, if I use the control button, hold the control button, and then scroll up the mouse or scroll down the mouse. Okay, it is going to increase or decrease the view of the screen. Now, when I do this model, okay, you can also observe there are some dotted lines and solid lines coming up here. Do you see this?
No, I can't.
Yeah, it's visible.
Hold the control button on the keyboard and then scroll up or scroll down. You should see zoom in and zoom out of the screen of the
Correct.
model
Yeah.
view.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
once you zoom in or zoom out, you will be able to see there are a lot of lines which are
Yeah.
solid
Yeah.
lines and dotted lines coming up,
Connected. Yeah.
right? So let's talk
Mm.
about what are the solid lines and dotted lines. Solid lines say that there is an active connectivity between these two tables. For example, Zomato NAM. If you look on my screen, Zomato NAM, there is a
Mm-hmm.
solid line which is going from Zomato NAM to KPI table. Why? Do you remember one of the I mean for each one of the continent table? Okay, so we have added certain information next to each of the I mean for each of the column within the Zomato NAM loaded from the KPI table. But how is this actually connected? Do you remember? Just try to remember and tell me what are the activities that you have done? What are the steps that you have done? First thing, you have loaded the continent tables, correct? After you
Correct.
loaded the continent tables, what have you done?
Uh,
We
We
have added one
created
column in this
consolidated.
table.
No, first
Consolidated.
thing we
Yes.
did is consolidated table, correct?
Yeah. Consolidated.
Yes.
Yeah.
After we have done the consolidated table, for the consolidated table, we have brought in extra information from different tables like KPIs, and then we
Yeah.
also have done it from the country master and then USD converter, correct? Which
Yeah.
means
Right.
although there is no direct connectivity between the Zomato NAM to your KPI table, it is interlinked through the consolidated table, correct? So which means there is a connectivity between the first and third table automatically,
Yeah.
correct? So this kind of connectivity is what we are talking about. Okay, merging common factor. Okay, so all this connectivity is whatever you have done. Okay, so in the relationships, okay, just watch my screen. Do not do anything. In the relationships, okay, uh, okay. Let me open this notepad here. I'll give you some technical terms. So you're going to talk about cardinality. Okay, the terminology that we are going to use from now on for addressing this, we call it as cardinality. Okay, in cardinality you will have different kinds of relationships. Okay, before we get into that, can I ask you a question? Like any four of you, have you ever heard about a relationship between two different tables in any database? Either it could be Oracle, Access, SAP, or anything.
Power pivot. We have done.
Power pivot. Okay, even in the power pivot, like what kind of relationships that you have heard between two different tables?
Uh, that is star or something.
Anything that comes to your mind.
Star.
Okay, you're saying star. Okay,
Yeah.
axis. Okay, so Suchitra have heard about this, an axis. Okay, what kind of relationship? What kind of relationship have you heard between two different tables? How two tables are talking to each other or connected to each other?
No, no.
Have you heard about these relationships called one to many,
Yeah.
many to
Yes.
one,
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
and many to many?
Yes.
Right? So this functionality, what we are talking about here, this is technically called cardinality. And within the cardinality, you will have four different kinds of relationships. One is one to many to one, many to many. So if you have heard about these particular kind of relationships on any one of your data tables, now can anyone explain what do you mean by one-to-one relationship?
A single table to single table and single table to many tables like this.
Yes, technically whatever you're talking will be okay. However, like if you get into the deeper conversation of it, like one table is connected to another table, like how it is being connected and why do we say one-to-one for that?
With the one common data to another.
Good.
Mm,
One common data connected to another common data in another table, correct?
yeah.
Okay. Let's say, for example, as per the example, whatever you have created so far within the data table that you have created. Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
each one of the continent table have each restaurant ID separately,
Yes. Yes.
correct?
Yeah.
Right. Then, which means in, let's say, let's take an example, Asia table. In Asia table, what is the common uh, column that you have identified between the Asia table and KPI table?
Uh, that is country.
No, open your data set and then you can see. That's fine. What is the common thing that you found between an Asia table and a KPI table?
Restaurant ID.
Good. It's a restaurant
Restaurant.
ID.
Restaurant ID. Yeah.
It's not the currency or it's not the country. It is the
Yes.
restaurant ID because that
Yeah.
is the main thing which is connecting both the tables, correct?
Correct. Correct. Correct.
But then, why you are not able to identify right now? Because you have connected. Okay. Let me ask you the other question. Asia table, take left hand on the assume on the left hand side it is your Asia table. On the right hand side it is your consolidated table. Now, what is connecting between the consolidated table and the Asia table? What is the common thing between these two?
Uh, Consolidated table and rest,
Consolidated table and Asia table.
restaurant ID only.
Restaurant ID, correct?
Yeah.
Good. So, since I'll put it this way. So, which means from Zomato Asia to consolidated table, the connector is restaurant ID. And if it is connecting through the restaurant ID, now think and tell me what kind of relationship it should say.
Sorry.
What kind of relationship it could be?
One to one.
One to one. Why?
Because the common data both of the same table.
It's not just the common table. It's not just the common. It is because Zomato Asia have unique restaurant IDs, correct?
Right.
So I will mention it here. Zomato Asia unique restaurant IDs are
Yeah. Correct. Mm.
connected to co- consolidated
That means
restaurant IDs. Correct?
That means in consolidated table, there are all the restaurant IDs are
Are
having, but
unique.
unique.
Are unique because they're coming from different kinds of
Correct,
continents.
correct, unique. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Correct?
yeah.
But they're connected to one particular, so they're from each one of the table. So which means Asia to consolidated table, it is a one-to-one relationship. Will you agree?
Yes.
Again, from Africa to consolidated, is it what kind of relationship it will be?
Africa too,
Same.
Consolidated,
same
it is
only.
one-to-one, right?
Yeah,
So
Yes.
Europe to consolidated,
Yes. All
yeah,
are same.
yeah.
right? So which means each one of the continent to the consolidated table becomes one-to-one relationship.
Right.
You understood why it is one-to-one? Because each unique ID within the continent is connecting to each unique ID in the consolidated table. Agreed?
Yes.
Yes,
Agree.
yeah.
Very good. So that's a one-to-one relationship. Now let's talk about one-to-many. Think about the same thing. Take around 5 minutes. Think about the same methodology, whatever I have spoken. Think and give me an answer. Okay, Suchitra, you're not able to getting it. Okay, fine. I'll talk to you in this way. So just take a look at my screen. Okay. So do not do anything on your screens. Watch my screen for a minute. So there are Asia, Africa, and then Europe, NAM, Oceania, and SAM. These are 6 different continents. So let's say I'm opening the Asia file here. Okay. I'm opening the Asia file. Now in the Asia file, there is a lot of information. Within this information, there is something called the restaurant ID. Correct. So what I'm asking here, the restaurant ID within this is unique or duplicated.
It's unique.
It's unique, right?
Yeah,
So now, similarly, in Africa, you will find the restaurant ID is unique or duplicate.
unique.
So, which means 6 different continent files have 6 different, all the restaurant IDs within these files are unique in nature.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to create a consolidated. When I say consolidated, it is Asia, Africa, Europe, NAM, everything put together in one single file. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm picking up this restaurant ID. I'm just opening my new file. I'm doing like this. So this belongs to Asia. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to do the Africa.
Okay. So it will be consolidated.
So it is going to get a consolidated information.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So yes, this is the Africa data. And I'm appending the information here. So now this is a mixture of Asia and Africa. Let's say consolidated. Correct. So
Okay.
my point is when Asia data is there, Africa data is there like this, and there is consolidated table, right? So which means
Mm.
all the data, all the information is from Asia to going to consolidated are going to be like a unique connection, correct?
Yeah.
That is called one-to-one relationship, which means
Okay.
unique values
Okay.
in one of the table are connecting to another unique values in another table. That is one-to-one relationship.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah. Explain.
Good. Now what I'm questioning here is think of this activity what you have done on the last week and then tell me where do you find something called one to many relationship. You can get this answer very easily, but just think about it.
Can
One
we
to
reverse
many.
the order like consolidated to other tables?
Okay, that's a good question. Consolidated to Asia. Okay, now this is like this: left hand side you are seeing the Asia, and then right hand side you are seeing the consolidated. So
Yes.
it is being connected everywhere, correct?
Yes.
But then when you are doing this in a reverse method, so now tell me in consolidated all the all the restaurant IDs are unique or common in or duplicated.
Unique.
Unique, unique.
Unique. Now
Unique.
Yeah.
when
Unique.
this you consolidated is connected to each one of the continent in the reverse method, मतलब ये right hand side में जो है data I'm keeping it like this, and then I'm keeping the same thing here. Okay. So now this becomes left and this becomes right.
So it is
Now
many to
consolidated to,
Yeah. So consolidated will be the input data and other will be the output data.
let's say, think about this way. Then first thing, think about this. The restaurant ID is unique or common?
Unique.
Unique.
Okay. It is unique in nature. Now, when it is connecting to Asia, what kind of relationship it will be picking up?
many to one,
Why?
because consolidated is having many. Oh, no, it's one.
Many.
Just one to many.
One to many. Okay. Okay. Let's understand this. What is the definition I said for the one to one?
Should be
Unique
unique.
ID.
Both.
I'll write it here one more time. Left hand side, unique values connected to each unique value on the right hand side.
Yeah.
So this is called one-to-one relationship. Now you reverse this consolidated and the continent table. Do you find
So
it unique or do you find it, sorry, do you find it one-to-one or anything else?
no, one to one only, because
One to
both are
one
same.
only. But
Obviously,
in
correct.
multiple files. That's
Yeah.
it.
Either
Both
it
are,
could be a multiple files or whatever. See,
both are unique.
basically, both are unique. That's all, correct?
Mm.
You
Yeah.
do it from the left hand side or do you do it from the right hand side? Both are unique in nature only, right?
Yeah.
Right,
Any
right.
other.
So which means here, continent to consolidated,
Or consolidated to continue. Both are same.
or either it is consolidated to continent.
Continue. Yeah.
It is
Got it.
unique in nature only, correct?
Yes.
Right.
So it is one to one. So now you leave this. Now you understood what is a one to one relationship very clearly, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Now think about one to many, which means what I say, one to many, unique values on the left hand side are connecting to duplicate values on the right hand side. This is
Yeah.
your example. Okay. Then in this case, what could be your, what could be an example that you have done on the last week? Think and give me an answer.
Consolidated file connecting to all the different continents. It's consolidated restaurant ID connecting to all the restaurant IDs in continent tables.
No.
One to many.
No. This continent to other, like KPIs or country
Okay,
must.
you think of any one of the table that you have got. How many tables you have got? Around 10 tables, correct? Leave
Correct.
about the consolidated for a while. Leave about
Yeah.
consolidated. But think about the other tables that you have and then tell me where you find the duplicate values rather than unique values.
Mm, currency is a duplicate value.
That's cool. In
Yeah.
currency, you have duplicated value. Which portion you have the duplicated value?
Portion means I couldn't get it.
Okay, which column?
Column. Uh, currency column. Mm, KPIs.
So in USD converter, we have a continent as a duplicate value.
Correct. In the USD converter, you have got continents as a duplicated value, correct? There is no unique value over there because you have got two lines of Asia, two lines of Africa, correct?
Right,
Yeah.
right. Multiple
Yeah.
lines of AC.
Yeah.
Multiple lines, correct? So that is not
Yes.
a unique value, correct? But still,
Right.
we are connecting this USD converter to which table?
Yes. We continue to.
Consolidate.
Consolidated table. In
Yeah.
consolidated table, the continents, whatever you are having, okay? Let's think about this way. What is common between consolidated and USD converter now?
Currency.
Currency. Yeah.
Okay, let's take currency. For example, let's take currency. Currency is currency unique in consolidated value in consolidated table?
Yes.
How?
No, dollar was not there. Dollar
See, my
name and also
my
in
belief, yeah, my belief is you're not looking at the table. Okay, let's see. This is your consolidated table. Okay, watch my screen. Only look at my screen. Okay, in consolidated table, you are saying there is a currency column. Okay, this is your currency column. Is this unique or duplicated?
duplicated, multiple times coming.
Multiple times. Now you are saying that if I'm connecting this to a USD converter, in the USD converter, is this currency value duplicated or is it unique?
Unique.
Duplicated, dollar is coming multiple times.
Dollar is coming multiple times, so it is duplicated, correct? So when you are
Correct.
connecting the duplicate values from the left hand side to duplicate values to the right hand side, what could be the relationship?
One to many.
Multiple to one.
Sorry, many to one. Many to one. Yeah.
Many to one, sorry.
How come
Yeah.
many to one?
Because there's only we have taken only one unique value of that consolidated table.
Right, Suchitra got it very right. Good, Suchitra. So she say it is many to many relationship.
Okay.
No, 1 second. Say again, Lakshmi. I couldn't get it actually.
See, consolidated table, you are saying currency value is there, right? In the consolidated table,
Yeah. Yeah.
is the currency value or the currency column is having unique values or duplicate values?
Yeah.
Duplicate.
Duplicate obviously.
Whenever there is a duplicate value, what is the terminology you should say? Is it one or
Many.
many?
Many.
Many.
Keep that in mind. Now I'm going back to the USD converter. In the USD converter, in the currency column, do you have multiple values or do you have only unique values?
Multiple
Multiple.
value.
Correct,
Okay. Okay. Both are many.
Okay.
Okay.
right?
Got it.
So
Multiple
which
to
means
multiple
it's a
means
many to
many to
many.
many. Okay.
So this means the concept is very simple. Whenever you say one,
Yeah.
which means it should only have the unique values. Whenever you say many, either it is one value is also duplicated. One value out of 1,000 values, even one value is duplicated, it is going to say many. Got it? So
Got it.
now between the consolidated and currency, it will be
Many to
many
many.
values. Correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's many to many. So what we say, left hand side, duplicate
Right hand side duplicate.
values connected to duplicate values on the right hand side. So this is called many to many. So what is the example for this? Consolidated to currency, currency converter or USD converter table.
Right.
Correct? Now what I'm saying, give me an example for one to many. Think of one to many and give me an answer.
One to many. Okay. One is Asia.
First thing, tell me out of all the 10 tables, how many tables have unique values? All the values and continents are unique values, right? So how many continent tables we have got?
6.
Plus another consolidated table is also unique value.
7. Yeah.
So out of
Country
10 tables, you have got 7, right? Now
yeah.
think all these 7 tables on the left hand side. Now you tell me in the other 3 tables, wherever you have got multiple values, where it is actually being connected as one to many.
USD converted to continent.
USD converter to continent.
Yeah. Many to 1. You're asking many to 1, right?
No.
One to many.
1 to many. Oh, sorry. So 1 to many is a continent to like in USD converter. Any continent.
Continent to no, but in USD converter, you don't have any such kind of values where it says, okay, even it is many, how you're okay. So you mean to say continent to
Continent to USD converter because continent also the duplicate na, in the USD converter.
exactly. So it will not become like that, right? So think of it. You're very close, but you're not able to just grasp it. Leave about this. See, there are seven.
Consolidated to USD converter.
Country code to USD consolidated.
Country code to USD consolidated. Okay, country code to consolidated.
Yes.
Okay, now I'll go to the country master. Okay, in the country master, do you have country codes, duplicated or unique values?
Unique.
Unique, correct?
Yeah.
In consolidated, you have country code. Are they many or are they one?
Means unique or duplicate,
Many.
you're asking?
Many.
Country code is a unique value or a duplicated value?
Country code is a
Duplicated.
In the consolidated, it's a duplicated, correct? When you're connecting this consolidated to country master using the country code, what will be the relationship?
many to one.
Very good. Excellent. It's many to one.
Yeah.
Explain once again, please.
See, consolidated table is there, right?
Right.
In the consolidated table, under the country code column, do you find duplicates or do you find unique values over here?
Duplicate.
Now, how these are connected to? These are connecting to country master table. In the country master table, we have country code, correct?
Yes.
So here in the country master table, is this unique or is this duplicate?
Unique.
Unique. So your relationship between consolidated to country master will become what?
Many to one.
Many to one, correct?
Right.
So I'm using the same option here, whatever you say. So left hand side, unique values, sorry, or left hand side duplicate values connected to each unique values on the right hand side. So what is the best example for this? Consolidated to
country master.
Country master.
Yeah.
Same can go reverse, right? It's in one to many. Country master to consolidated.
Exactly. That is what exactly I'm asking from the beginning. So if I'm looking from country master to consolidated table, then it becomes
one to many.
One to many. So country master to consolidated becomes one to many. Got it?
Yes.
So this is your cardinality relationship. That's what we say. This is your cardinality. Okay. Now you understood like what kind of relationship that you can build between two different tables.
Yes.
This is all depend upon your left hand side and right hand side. Left hand side, whatever the table that you are trying to connect, on your right hand side, whatever the table that you are connecting, you need to identify what is the common point. Once you identify the common point between these two, on your left hand side, you need to understand either it is a duplicated or unique. Whenever it is a duplicated, it always stand by with the terminology called many. If it is unique, then it is always one. Okay, on your right hand side, the way that you are connecting the common point, either it is a duplicated, then it is duplicate, then it is many. If it is unique, then it is one. So based upon that, one to one it becomes either one to one or one to many or many to one or many to many.
Right.
Yeah.
Clear for everyone?
Yes.
Okay, now again I'd say you need to keep thinking about this and keep practicing. What does that mean? In whenever you come across any tables, okay, you always make a point that you need to do a comparison in your mind, on your left hand side, on your right hand side. Think of it and then you will understand this cardinality more and more in detail in nature.
Yeah, left hand side and right hand side means I need to check the table or this.
No, that's the table on your left hand side comparison. How do you compare two different tables?
Oh,
so left hand side we can understand input and right hand side we can say output, something like that.
Something like that. You can think of it like that.
Yeah, understand.
Your input to output or output to input, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So with this, if you understood this, okay, now tell me very clearly, okay, on your left hand side, okay, on your left hand side, there is a consolidated table, which is your input table. On your right hand side, which is your output table, okay, there is USD converter. Okay.
Mhm.
In general, what is the relationship between the consolidated to USD converter in general?
Many to
USD
many.
converter is input file and consolidated is output file.
Yes. No. Consolidated user input, USD converter is your output. So what could be the relationship between these two in general?
Many to one.
No, one to
How?
many.
Many to many
Because
because it's a duplicate
No, one,
in
no, one to many.
USD.
no, many
Uh,
to many, because duplicate is coming there also, duplicate is coming here also.
Correct. So it is
Many to
when
many.
many to many. Correct. Both
Right,
the
right.
both on the left and right hand side you have the duplicated value. So it is many to many. Simple. Correct. But do you
Correct.
remember how did we make a one-to-one relationship between these two tables? Do you remember this?
I'm merging all the three uh,
Yeah,
continent
merging.
currency and USD. You merged it.
Right. Using the continent and currency in both the tables, we created what kind of relationship we created?
One to one.
One
Good. One-to-one
one
relationship we created. Correct. But
Yeah.
how many of you agree that that is a one-to-one relationship?
Yeah, it's 7 to 1 only.
one to many it will be. Because multiple things will come in consolidated with a
See,
unique USD converter.
yeah. See, for example, under the consolidated table, this is your left-hand side. Okay. On the right-hand side is your USD converter. Okay. Okay. I'll put it in an Excel directly, so it makes more sense. I'll say this is left-hand side and this is right-hand side. Okay.
Okay.
And I'll say what is the relationship. So you need to think of and give me a relationship answer for this. Okay, I'll also give you one more column. This is what is a connector or common point, common.
Okay.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, between the consolidated and USD converter, I am using only the continent as a common point or common connector. Then what could be
Correct.
the relationship?
It is many to one.
Many to one.
Yeah.
Do everyone agree for this?
Yes.
Are you sure, everyone?
No. In USD converter, we have countries also and currency. Both are coming multiple times. So many to many it will come.
That's good. It's many to many relationship. Now the same thing, consolidated to converter. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
using continent
And
and
currency.
currency put together. What kind of relationship then it will become?
One to
Then many
one.
to,
Because now it's oh, no.
no, then many to one.
Many to one. Many to one.
Many to one should be.
That's good, pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's called many to one relationship.
Yeah.
Why? Because in the USD converter, when you're clubbing or merging both the continent and currency, you're creating one unique value. So it
Yeah.
will only have the unique value. But in the consolidated, when you're merging both continent and currency, there are duplicated values.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah.
Correct? So it
Yeah.
becomes many to
One.
one. Very good. Suppose, for example, when I say Asia to consolidated,
One to
using
one.
the restaurant ID.
One
One
to
to
one
one.
always.
So it's a one-to-one relationship.
Yeah.
Now I have Africa the same way. Okay. Europe,
Mhm.
Oceania, NAM, and SAM. Okay. Now all these for this consolidated table.
Right.
If it is
Using the restaurant ID, then what becomes the relationship bit for all?
1 to 1 only.
1 to 1.
Everything becomes 1 to 1, correct? Now I'm
Yeah.
using the consolidated here and then using all the continents on the right hand side.
Same.
Using the same restaurant ID, then what will be the relationship?
Same.
1 to
Same.
1.
1 to 1 relationship. You understood this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Suchitra, you are able to understand now everything?
Yes. That's fine.
Good. Now you take the same concept in mind. We are going to replicate the same concept on the model view. When I go to the model view, but what you are going to see on the model view is something little unique in this. So that is what actually this dotted lines and single lines. Okay. You see, there is a single line, which is Zomato NAM to KPA. What is the end? What is the start point? It says
1.
endpoint.
1.
1.
1 to
Got it?
1.
So since it is connected 1 to 1, it says 1 to 1 relationship. Bidirectional, which means either you take it from the left to right or right to left. It is going to be 1 to 1 relationship. That is the reason why it is clubbing as 1 to 1 relationship. Got it?
Okay. Okay.
Now, since you have got lot of tables here, okay, right now with the 11 tables itself, we are looking at, okay, this is a big structure. Now, how do I make different kinds of models out of it? Let's see this. What I can do is I can create one more new layout here. Okay, I'll click on the plus symbol. This is one new layout. When I click on the new layout, do you see that there is something called step setup your layout?
Yeah.
Okay, what is that I'm going to do right now? Imagine that, as I told you, you have the limitation for your date model view is around 75 tables put together. You can create a model. Okay, but when I put all the 75 tables put it together in a single view, do you think anyone can able to understand that?
No.
No, it's very difficult.
What if I bifurcate it and then create some different kinds of models? Then will that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
When does this example will be helpful? For example, if you remember the concept what Anirudh have told us in the beginning, so
Yes.
he is taking the data from one particular view, which is one Excel. He might take the data from PDF, which is only related to the invoices. Third, related to the finance, he is creating something taken from another ERP. Now all these are put together in one single model, but however people are not able to understand. So how does he bifurcate it? Simple way. I'm going to create one more layout, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring only the Asia table, nothing else. Okay, you see this? I created a new layout and I renamed this as Asia. So this is only Asia model. So I'm going to bring Asia and then right click on this Asia model, and then do you see there is an option called add related table?
Yeah.
So I click on the add related table. Now what is happening? It is creating, or it is bringing only the tables which are connected through Asia. It is going to bring only those tables. So it is not bringing all the 10, 11 tables here. It is bringing how many tables it brought?
4 and 5, including the Asia.
Including 5, it is Asia table, 5 table, right?
Yeah.
So if I bifurcate it like this, okay, this is KPI separately, I'll keep it.
Mm.
This is Asia table separately, and then this is country master separately, and then this is consolidated separately. Now, Asia is connected to Zomato. Asia is
Yeah.
connected to Zomato, but this is a dotted line. It's not a solid line. What does this dotted line say? This is a possible connection between Asia, Oceania, and Asia. What is a possible connection? If I keep the mouse here on the dotted line,
Mm.
do you
Yeah.
see latitude has been highlighted in this Asia?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even on the top, you can see here, okay? When I highlight this, do you see latitude is highlighted in Oceania?
Yes. Yes.
What Power BI tells you, boss, this is a possible connectivity between these two tables. If you want, you can take it, or you don't want, you can take it. It's up to your choice. But
The
I have
possible means,
identified.
Lakshmi, there is a connection, right? This is a firm connection. Why it is possible? Because if I do not want to take, that is different part. But there is a connection with this both table for the latitude. So
Yeah, that which means the latitude values from the Oceania are main connected to Asia latitude values.
No, I couldn't get it. Yeah, sorry.
See, in Oceania, there is a latitude column, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I double click on this relationship,
Yeah.
what does it say? You see the values here. It says there are some matches.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Got it? In the Zomato Asia, there are few values which are actually matching with the values in the Oceania.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that is the reason why it says it is a possible. There is a possibility that, there. I mean, it is identifying that there are common values between these two. So that's the reason why it is giving you a dotted line connection.
Means all the values are not matches, but some of the values are matches. Like this, or
Some of the values are matching. Even when
okay.
some of the values are matching, it is a one many to one.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Which means there are duplicated values in the Oceania, but still those values can be connected to Asia.
Okay. Okay.
That is where it is called the dotted line. Okay, I'll
Mm.
tell you in dotted line and a single line. I hope
Mm.
for every one of you in your organizations, okay, you might have heard about the HR terminology where they say, "Boss, this guy is a dotted reportee to someone else,
Correct. Correct. Yes, we have
but
heard.
he
Yeah.
is a direct reportee to your manager."
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
What does that mean in
So it is
Direct
not.
means direct
no, no,
relation and indirect relation, and not the direct relation something.
simple? You you are having one of the reportee who is sitting next to you in India. He is a direct reportee to you, but the same person is reporting to someone else in US. That is a
Yes. Yes.
dotted line reporting.
Correct. Correct.
It
Correct.
is not shown in the system, but we say it is a
So,
dotted line reporting.
so if I say, like, for example, I'm reporting to directly to my manager in the UK, but
Hmm.
the same way I'm working with the any other country to the other manager, but I'm not reporting to directly to him.
To him,
Kind
but
of.
you are working to him.
Yeah, I'm working to him. Yeah. Correct. Yeah.
Got it? You are working
Yeah.
because your appraisals, your
Yeah. Yeah.
attendance, everything will be taken care by your UK
Yeah.
manager. But
Yes. Yes.
related to your
I'm
work,
working to. Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
related to your work, you are doing it in the USA. So you will
Yes.
become a direct reportee of your UK manager. It is a
Correct.
solid line, but
Yes.
dotted line will become your USA.
Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah. Got it. Got it.
That's a possible connection, correct?
Mm.
That is what exactly the dotted line and solid line states here. Similarly, you can create multiple like this. So now I have created for Asia. If I want to create one more model view only that tells me how Oceania, or let's say NAM is being created, how NAM is being created. Now I'll create one layout. I'll drop only the NAM table here and then right click on it and then click on add related table. It will only give me the table which are connected to NAM.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
Suppose, for example, I only create one more layout for consolidated. Now, as per your understanding, if I do this for consolidated, okay, and add relate table, how many tables I will see here?
Three.
So,
How
total
many
you're
tables I
talking?
could see? No, when I
Three in
right,
nine.
I created
all
consolidated
all
table.
the tables.
Suchitra
All the.
said it is correct. So when I bring consolidated and put it here and then click on right add related table, now I will see all the tables coming up here again. Why? First thing, consolidated table, it is a mixture of all these tables.
True.
Yes.
And then within the consolidated table, we are bringing the data from country master, KPI, and USD converter.
Mm.
So which means consolidated table alone is related to everything, correct?
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, if I bring only KPI, okay, and
Yeah.
click on add related table, think of it and then tell me how many tables I might see.
Two.
Why two? All the continents,
Yeah. All the contents. Yeah.
because
Oh,
see,
oh.
it is picking up the data from consolidated, that is for sure. But
Correct.
consolidated is also picking up from all the different tables.
Yeah.
That is why it is an related table, correct? But
Yes,
do
Mm.
yes.
you see anywhere country master?
No.
Do you see anywhere country master see?
No.
Do you see anywhere USD converter?
No.
Now you understood the technique of this model view.
Yes.
So
What
on
is
a
the
high level, sorry.
uh, what is the advantage to get the model view? Means I can see the individually what are the tables are, or what is this?
Okay. See, I'll tell you different advantages. This is one of the advantage what I'm talking. One of the advantage. The first
Mhm.
advantage, when you have a complex model, which means you have got multiple tables. Let's say you have got 20 tables or 25 tables or 30 tables loaded onto your Power BI.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, first thing you may not be able to understand like how each one of the table is talking to other table.
Yes.
So what you can do, the first tip or technique, what you can do is you can actually bifurcate your model, which means you can create a custom layout and then say you want to see only the table related. Okay. Um, where this will be helpful, I'll tell you. In organizations, typically what is going to happen is your employee database is created as a separate table. It will only have your name, date of birth, place where you hail from, what is your personal email ID, what is your
Mm.
address, correct?
Yeah.
Now, the same person is involved in the company in different methodologies. Like since he is being paid, he's related to the finance team, correct? So in the
Yes.
finance team, under this employee ID, he will what are the possible data we'll have? When is he paid? What is his date of joining? If he is paid bonus or if he is paid any commission, what is his regular pay? Everything will be loaded into one particular thing, right? So that is your finance model.
Yeah.
Or now again, when it comes to his appraisal, in your appraisal model there is a separate database wherein it will have your date of joining, when his last performance, what is his last performance rating, how much he has been rated, what is his increase, or what is the rating that he has given, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that is your performance related.
Correct. Yeah.
Now third table, let's say learning and development. This employee has been how many courses he have been completed, what is the information. Now all these tables, okay, put together in one single Power BI model, it is
Mhm.
working. Now suddenly this Power BI file has been given to you. Now you want to understand. Now you want to understand when that file came to you, because there are huge data from one from finance, one from learning development, one from performance, one from employee. You're confused about it.
Yeah.
So you want to go step by step to model. So when you go step by step, you can only bring finance data and then related data to that. Then that is where you will only see the employee and the finance table. You don't see the other tables over there. That is how you
Yeah.
can create your model and then understand how each table is connecting and talking to each other.
So we need to create a that time consolidated one. Then I can see all the tables in the model view.
No, 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 no. See, you don't need to. You're not creating any more. You're not creating any extra information here. Whatever the information that is already being done on the Power Query, when it is
Mhm.
being loaded, you're just trying to understand each point of view. You're just breaking your model into tiny bits and pieces and then trying to understand how each model is being created. As simple as it.
Okay, so it will be connected automatically, and yes, I need
It
to
is connected
understand.
automatically. You're trying to break that model and then see how it is being connected.
Okay, 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 okay. That's we are going to do now. That you are
You
saying like
you're
this.
having a motorbike which has been as a main output, correct?
Yeah,
But how this motorbike is in created, it is an assembly of different sections.
correct, correct, correct. Yes,
Now if you want to see break down each one of the section,
breakdown. Mhm.
each one of the section, when you bring only engine, will you be able to, you will be able to see only the data or only the assembly that is being created to engine. Like
Yeah,
within that you will have pistons, you will have some cylinders, you will have
yeah,
crankshafts, everything, correct?
yeah,
So that is
correct.
a small breakdown. That is what you will see in the model view.
Okay, okay, got it. Yeah,
Got it?
yeah,
your your bike is your complete bigger, your bike is your Power BI report. Within that,
yeah. Okay. Oh,
that's a
yeah.
vast model. You can't go and look at everything, correct? You will break
Yeah,
down only when you break down certain components. So engine is one. Okay, wheels are separately. When you break down the wheels, you will only see wheels, chain, spokes, everything separately, correct? That is one simple section you can see.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Got it, got it. Yeah.
Right. So this is one of the this is one of the trick that you can use the model view. What else you can also see the model view. Now this concept what I'm going to teach you is little more important. See, once you understand this, right, you will understand the Power BI perfectly.
Okay.
If you're missing anything here, then it will be little confusing. Now give me a heads up. How many of you are 100% aware of slicers in the Excel?
Yeah, we know.
Yes, I understand it.
Yeah,
You know
we
how
know.
the slicers have been created?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the pivot table.
Yes.
Right, good. Okay, in the pivot table, let's understand pivot table slicers.
Yeah.
Okay, Suchitra say yes. Sunil, you understand, right?
Yes.
Okay, Anirudh,
Yeah, I know.
Samir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
So every one of you here, guys, just give me a minute. హలో ఉన్నాం పెద్దమ్మ కొంచెం ట్రైనింగ్ లో ఉన్నాను ఉమ్, ఏం లేదులే ఆల్ రైట్ సారీ
It's okay, sir.
ఓకే Suchitra have a question, she's typing something.
I'm aware of slicer, but still, if you brush up, it will be easier to understand the correlation.
I mean, if you understand the concept of a slicer, then that is more than enough. That will brush it up when we
Okay.
are doing the database again in the Power BI.
Okay.
Okay. Now, the question to everyone is, just understand this question and give me an answer. Okay. The question is, see in sheet one. Okay. Oh, I already have an Excel file. Okay. So in sheet one, I have a table like this. Okay. And in another sheet, I have another table. Okay. Now this is not the same table. It could be something else. Okay. Now my question is, in the sheet one, can I create a pivot table, multiple pivot tables, or a single pivot table here?
Single.
Sorry.
Multiple.
You can create multiple pivot tables, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good. In sheet two, there is another data, and I can create multiple pivot tables over there.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create one simple pivot table here. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm using an existing worksheet here. Let's say, for example, I'll just keep it here and then say, okay. Now there is there is a table, pivot table, which is being created. Okay. So I'm just going to bring something like this in the relationships, putting in the rows. And then I'm just going to bring what is the count of it. Now this is one
Right.
pivot table, correct?
Yeah.
Now, can I add a slicer for this?
Yes.
Okay. How do I add a slicer? Insert slicer. And let's say, for
Yeah.
example, I'm going to add a slicer for left
Yeah.
left column.
How many number of column we have? To that extent, we can create the slicer.
Very good. So we have 4 columns and we can create 4 slicers. Good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Now I created only one slicer. Now I'm going to click on one of the slicer. Now it is slicing and dicing the data accordingly.
Yeah.
Correct. Based on the data type
Yes.
I'm selecting, it is giving me. Now the same thing what I do, I'll create one more sheet with another data. Okay, there is one more pivot table, one more slicer. Now it is connected. Now my question is, can the slicer which is created in this sheet one will be, can this control the data in sheet 2? Can this control the pivot table in sheet 2?
No, it is not possible.
It is not possible. Why?
Yeah. Because there's a different sheet actually. It can be possible with the power pivot.
No, leave about the power pivot. In a simple way, sheet 1
No, it's
data,
not
you have
possible.
a standalone pivot table and then standalone slicer. Now this slicer can control the data in sheet 2 or the pivot table in sheet 2.
Okay. Means you are talking about both the sheets can be controlled by one slicer.
Yes. Can we control
Ah,
it like that?
Yeah, yeah. Then it's possible. Yeah.
When? How?
If the data would same, probably in the both sheets,
If the data
possibility.
is same
Yeah,
from both the sheets,
yeah.
then using the methodology we can do a create connecting, correct? Using the report connection you can connect multiple pivot tables.
Yes.
Okay, Anirudh say this is use the report connection. Okay,
Yeah.
that is absolutely okay.
If
Now,
we have two sheets, then we take it in one sheet, and then we go for the pivot table to add the slicer, or
okay,
we give
let's
the relation to that sheet too. Then only it is possible.
okay, let's see. I'm going to say I'm adding numbers from randomly here from 1 to 255. Okay, sorry, ran between. Now I have got names, right? I'll say A, B, C like this.
Prabhat has said something. Did you remember report connection? Ah, report connection. Okay. Mm.
Okay, now you see this information here. Okay, there is an employee ID and then there is a name here. Okay, this is in sheet one, sheet 3. So I'm going to remove the other two sheets. Okay, before I remove this, I'll just paste this one here in the chat window so that you can keep this as a reference. Okay, Prabhas is typing something. He was wanted to say.
Prabhat has said to me something that report connection. I didn't remember Prabhat
I'll
actually.
no,
Sorry
that's
to
fine.
say.
I'll show it right now. I'll show it right now because this is important to understand. Now imagine this is one table coming from sheet 3. Okay. Now I have
Yeah.
another database in sheet 4. Okay. And what I will say, this is age. Let's say age. Okay. Now I'm using ran between 35 to 50. Okay. So this is one of the table which has employee and age. Another sheet I have employee name and employee ID. What is common between these two sheets?
Employee, employee ID.
Employee ID, correct?
Employee ID,
Right,
right.
Mhm.
right. So now I'm going to create one pivot table with this. And I will say this is employee ID in the rows and then names, or let's say the value. Okay, count of the name. Just simply, I'll just take some information. Now from the sheet 4, again, I'm taking the same thing. Okay. And I'm going to create one more pivot table here. I'm using it in the existing worksheet, which is on the sheet 5. Okay. Now I bring the employee here and again employee age. Okay. Don't go with the numbers. Just take it as an example. Now from the
Okay.
sheet 3, I have brought in the pivot table. I'm going to put a slicer here with for the employee ID. Correct.
Yeah.
Now this is pivot table 1, pivot table 2 coming from the sheet 3. This is from sheet 3. This is coming from sheet 4.
Yes. Yes.
Is it clear till here, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Now I
Yes.
brought a slicer from the sheet 3 and I say slice on employee 3. Now which is getting controlled?
Sheet 3.
Sheet 3.
Why?
Because there is no
Because
Dealing
connection
with
for
that
sheet
data
4.
only.
Because we created
mm-hmm.
the slicer only from the sheet 3 table. Pivot
Yeah.
table 1, which is coming from sheet 3, correct? Now I right click
Mm-hmm.
here and then click on the report connection. And then I'm going to give in the pivot table sheet 5. Okay. Now when I click on
Mm-hmm.
3, will that create again?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Is it getting created? I mean, is it getting controlled?
Yes, because it is now it is connected with the sheet 4.
Okay, the very first thing what I'm
No, but
saying,
no,
Prabhas can intervene here. I don't mind. My boss can intervene.
no, but it is connected with the, if you are connected with the both table, then it would be working,
How do you
because
create the connectivity?
the control, there's a control, and I forgot that one. Prabha said last time in Excel advanced Excel.
No problem. Prabhas, can you help me?
Uh,
No, Srikant. Yeah, I was just reminding him, since
yeah.
Sunil and Suchitra, they have not attended our advanced Excel. So you
Okay.
continue with that. I was just giving a
I'm
helping
okay.
hand to.
I understand all the things.
Okay.
I'm
No,
using
no, I'm
slicer
just trying to. Good, good.
Right.
I mean, don't get confused. I'm trying to give you a concept because the concept, whatever you do, if you understand this, trust me, your Power BI concept is clear about
So
Okay.
you
okay.
continue with that.
it.
Others also watch, no problem. It was just
Okay.
a heads up for Anirudh only. Since he
Yeah,
had attended this, I thought to give a helping hand to remind
No, no
him
problem.
that the last
yeah, yeah.
pivot table, what we discussed about nothing but connecting with multiple pivot tables, multiple pivot charts, and how to play around with the data, nothing else. So
Right.
please continue.
Good,
Please continue.
good, good. See, from sheet 3, we created from the sheet 3, there is a simple table which is employee ID and name. And then we created a new pivot table in one of the particular, in a new sheet, which is a pivot table. Okay. This is pivot table 2.
Right.
Okay. Again, we did the same activity from the sheet 4. We created one more pivot table in the same sheet. This is pivot table 3. Now that what happened, I created a slicer which is coming up only from the first pivot table. Okay. Click on the insert
Yes.
slicer, and then I'm using the employee, and then I could see there is one pivot table here. So using this slicer first, when I slice the data, the first pivot table is being controlled. Till here, it
Correct.
is clear for everyone.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
When I right click here and click on the report connection, only if it show me the pivot table 3, only then it gets connected. Otherwise around, it is not going to create a connectivity.
So we need to add this on sheet 4 in the report connection, then only it will be controlled.
Instead, what I would do, I'll go to the sheet 4, and if I do a VLOOKUP with this employee ID from the sheet 3 and bring in the names, okay, and bringing the names, now this is a consolidated pivot table, sorry,
Yeah,
consolidated data.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
Now if I create a pivot table with this
Then it will be controlled. Yeah.
and put it in the existing worksheet which is on the this place,
Yeah.
now I created one new. Okay, so I'm going to create an employee here, and then I'm
Mhm.
going to bring whatever it is, name or age or whatever. Okay,
Yeah.
or let's say I'll bring the age, the same pivot table.
Okay.
Now you see when I click on this 3, okay, it is not creating anything, but however when I click on the report connection, okay, sorry,
We need to change the slicer as well.
yeah, let me just
Yeah.
filter out here, clear the filter. Now
Yeah.
I'm going to create a pivot table slicer from here, okay, which
Yes,
is
yes.
employee.
Consolidated.
It's just a consolidated one, so now
Yeah.
it is creating,
Yeah.
it's an individual connectivity, correct? It's an individual one. So
Yes.
what does
Yes.
this explain? Since there is no connectivity, you see there is no connectivity from the data from here, and there is no connectivity from the data here. Okay, so because of that, even when I bring one single slicer, it is dicing only one particular pivot table, not all the pivot tables.
Mm.
Which means when you're creating a pivot table from an individual data set, and when you bring a slicer from each one of the individual data set, that is where it is going to create slice and dice the data only for one particular data set, but not for all the multiple tables over there. Correct. So
No,
that is
then
what, yeah.
no, then to get the one slicer from the multiple data, so we need to put a formula like VLOOKUP that you have used.
So I
How
created one data. I created one data
and the
set like this,
consolidated
and then
one.
create consolidated one. Correct. When I bring in the consolidated and using one single slicer, it is working. Correct. The
Yes.
same
Yes.
concept when you go back to this model table, what is happening? These are individual data tables, correct? Every table that you have created, it's an individual data table, correct?
Yes,
So
yeah.
consolidated is the data coming from all the tables, correct?
Oh, okay. Okay.
What does that
Yes.
mean in when I bring a slicer alone for Asia or Africa, that
It
slicer
will
will
merge.
only work for Africa table, but not for
Okay, right.
consolidated table,
Got it. Yeah.
right? I'll show you that. Now you just see, watch my screen, do not do anything. I'm clicking on the manage relationship. Okay.
Mhm.
Now what I'll do, I'm going to select everything and then click on the delete. So, and when I click on the close, now you will see all the tables have been, all the connectivity between all the tables are gone.
Yes, yes.
Now, all these are 11 different tables,
Mm-hmm.
right? When I go back to the report view and when I bring the data from Africa, okay, let's say I'm bringing the city information from here. Okay. And
Yeah.
for a while, I'll just keep it as a table. Now
Mm-hmm.
you have got 5 cities over here,
Yeah.
Okay.
right? I'm just using this slicer, converting the same thing as a slicer. Now these are individual slicers coming from a Africa table.
Yeah.
Now on the consolidated table, what I'm going to do is I'm taking one average column, which is cost for two or 2 USD, anything, whatever I'm just going to bring in. Okay. I'm going to bring in this information. Okay.
Sorry.
And I bring in also the continent for you to understand more. Okay. This is Asia, Africa, and I'm in Oceania. Now,
Mm.
when I click on the Cape Town, do you think the data is getting sliced here?
No. No.
Why? There is no connectivity between the consolidated and Africa table because I removed the connection.
Yes. 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 Yes.
I removed the connection. If I go back to the model view, do you
Mm.
see any dotted line anywhere or solid line?
No. No.
No.
No, correct? Now you see when I,
Right.
so that's the reason why when I slice the data, it is not slicing the data for this. But when I go back to the model view and click on the manage relationship, and what I do is I'll create one new relationship. Now on the top, I'm going to say this is Africa table and this is consolidated. From Africa to consolidated, this is automatically connecting the creation, connecting using the restaurant ID. It
Yes.
automatically identified and it is
Yes.
one-to-one relationship.
Yeah.
True.
And the cross filter direction, which means either I can do from consolidated to Africa or Africa to consolidated.
Both the way. Both the way.
And I'm just making this relationship active here and click on OK. Now it is OK. Click on close. Now you will see there is a solid line that appears between Africa and consolidated.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now I'll go back here on the report view. Now, do you see automatically this is creating?
Correct. 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 It is changing. Yeah.
So the slicer is from different table, data is from different table, but still it is slicing the data
Because of the connectivity.
because of the connectivity.
Yes.
Otherwise, around if you're not creating any connectivity, it is not going to slice any data. It
Correct.
is just going to be like simple individual database only.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yeah.
In
Yes.
Power BI, this is a technique. What is the technique with the model view is in model view, you can create a connectivity like this. By default, what is going to happen? When you load the information and when you have done the merge query, when you have done all this, you are not able to understand that you are creating a model view on the behind. Okay. So the moment once you are doing a merge query or anything on the behind behind scene, the model view is getting created. Connectivity is getting created, which you are not aware of. So I individually asked you to go to the model view and then check how the dotted lines and solid lines have been created automatically when you created merge query in the Power Query, right? So the impact over it is going to see only on the report view. You will not see the
Can I
impact initially.
can I change the later stage? For example, if I prepare something and put the
You
slicer and
can
all.
you can
Yeah.
do any time. That is where your model view will actually help you to create the
Okay.
connectivities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah. Got it. Yeah.
Now you see when I go back to the Asia, when I go back to the Asia, do you see any connectivity between any of the table?
No.
No.
Why? Because we deleted all the relationships.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now you see when I go to the new layout and then bring only Africa and right click on this and click on add related table. Now how many tables I will see here?
Only one.
Which table is it?
Africa table.
It's only consolidated because we
Consolidated.
created a relationship
Yes,
between
yes,
these
yes,
two,
yes, yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right.
I hope you are able to understand the technique here. The Power
Mm.
Query, in the Power Query, although you have done the merge query and everything, that is where you have done the data table. So you created a table out of it. Table is an output, right? But for
Yeah.
that to work using the slicers, your model view is really important to make sure the connections are proper.
No, but here we have already merged with the table view that we have done in last week. So now we have removed the all relationships. That the same way the this merge query has already been removed, or it is
No,
there.
no, merge query is there
Okay. Okay.
because see, merge query in doing in the Power Query will create an individual table like this. This is an individual
Okay.
table,
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah.
right? These are
Mm-hmm.
individual tables, but in order to for you to the slicers to work on the Power BI, the slicers
We
to work on the Power BI,
we need to connect the tables only.
you need to connect the table properly.
Yeah. Okay. I
You,
got
by
it.
default, it will automatically connect. You don't need to do anything, but specifically, you don't want to give the connections like that. Then that is where your model view will help you.
That means we are connected to the data with the in between the table.
Yes.
Means that is we have done in Power Query, and to get the slicer output, we need to like connect to the all the tables whatever we require. Am I correct?
No, no, you're correct, but I'll fine tune it. Whatever you said is correct, but I'll fine tune it. See, understand the statements again. In Power
Yeah.
Query,
Mm-hmm.
okay, when I go back to the Power Query here, transform data, right? So right now
Yeah.
what is happening? These are individual tables you loaded and then you created an output called consolidated, correct?
Okay. Yes. Yes.
So initially you have created connectivity using merge query. So you've done everything.
Correct.
Only in order to bring the data, you have done everything. But when I
Yeah.
click on, now you will see, now when I click on the close and apply, now I'm on the Power Query. When I click on the close and apply, you will just see again, I haven't done anything. But still what is going to happen right now, it is going to click on the close and apply, correct? Now everything has been loaded, right? So I haven't,
Mm.
here there is no connectivity. The reason why we have removed the connections.
Okay. But in the consolidated table you have already that means merge and connection both are different thing, right? That you are saying.
Both are one and the same in the Power Query. Okay. See, I know this concept is little
Bit confusing.
not confusing. I mean, I should say it comes with the practice. Now you see on the transform table, I'll do something. You see here. Right now on the transform data, I am not doing any action, but I'm going to do some action here. Something like
Okay.
this. Like I removed the change type step. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So what is the change type step we have done? We converted this to the number. So I'm going to remove
Yeah.
this step. Okay.
Yeah.
Now this is ABC123.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to select this and then again change this back to number.
Number. Yeah. This is your number. This is your number.
Now, out of all the 10 tables or 11 tables that you have got, how many tables I have created modified?
One.
Oh,
Only one table, right?
yeah.
Now
Yes.
I'm going to click on the close and apply. You will see on the screen, consolidated table alone will be refreshed. Is it not getting refreshed? Let's see. Let me take one more thing, one more value also.
Mm-hmm.
So latitude, longitude, which is on the consolidated table. I'll go back to the right hand side and let me add one more column here then. Okay. For a while, let me add one more column. Click on the add column, click on the custom column, and I'm going to multiply. I'm going to multiply and I'll say this is an average cost in USD. Okay. So what I'm doing, the individual currency for each of the continent, This is given here, average cost into the 2. This is being multiplied using the currency converter, so that
Yeah.
every value will be converted into USD. Okay.
Yeah.
So now this is the new column that I have added, correct?
Yeah.
I'm converting this to a decimal number. Okay. Now
Yeah.
I click on the close and apply. Now there is a change that is happened on the consolidated table, correct?
Correct.
See, now it is only loading the consolidated table because that is the only thing which got affected.
Yes.
Now it is refreshed. Now I'll go back to the model view. Now here you're not, are you going to see any relationships here? There is nothing, correct?
No.
Reason why we have deleted this manual manage relationship. Now, for
Yeah.
example, if I allow the Power BI, okay, boss, you do one thing. You automatically detect all the relationships, possible and non-possible. Okay. When I click on
Mm.
this, now you will see everything, how many relationships it is going to do. It says found 20 relationships. Now you see,
Yeah.
now when I click on okay, you will see now relationships everywhere. You see the dotted lines, solid lines again.
That means, yeah. That means what I understood that if I do the merge query
Hmm.
with the data, so
Hmm.
we can get the output individually. But if I wanted to use the slicer, then uh, we need to give a connection with the all tables. Then only it will be changed accordingly to according to the slicer. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that
Yeah.
you take the concept that way, because
Yeah. Yeah.
initially on the Power Query, that is a very early stage you are creating your model. Okay,
Correct.
Y- you are indirectly creating the model in the Power Query indirectly by using merge query, by using connecting
Yeah.
two different
Yeah.
tables. Okay,
Yeah.
when
Mm.
you load this back onto the Power BI screen, what is happening automatically in the backend? It is identifying, okay,
Mm.
Anirudh have created the relationship, so these are the possible relationships. It is already being created and kept it aside. So
Okay.
usually no one does go into the model view. Usually no one does go into the model view because they're least bothered. Okay,
Mm.
so you'll go
Mm.
back there and then you will load the slices, everything will work fine. But specifically there are some people, or let's say you want to create a connectivity between two different tables, which is a dotted line, and you want to make that to a solid line, then your slices are going to work properly.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay.
if you want to create a new connection between two different tables, that is where you will go to the manage sorry, model view, and then create a connection.
Okay. So, uh, will the slicer work for a dotted connection as well, or only the farm connection?
It will connect, it will work because it is a dotted line, it will still work. That is for
Still work.
sure. It will
Yeah.
work. Okay,
Mm.
but if you want
Yeah.
to make that to live connection, then that is where you are going to just convert it into a solid line. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Got it. So that means I can change uh, accordingly to my requirement, right? If I want to change like dotted to farmland, for example, if I create a dashboard and uh, wherever I need this dot like farmland, and I need to change this, I don't need to these one for the slicer, so I can move to the dotted line and it will be working for slicer or not?
It will work for the slicer. That's what I say. Wherever there is a dotted line or a solid line, it will still work. The slices are going to work.
Okay.
Only thing what you're going to see is the place
Mhm.
where two tables are not connected either through dotted or either through solid.
Ah,
Slicer
okay.
is not going to work over there. If you
Got it.
want to bring a special slicer for that to work, only then you are going to create a connectivity. Either it is a dotted or
Okay.
solid line. Anything is fine. But for
Mm.
slicer to work for those two tables separately, you need to make a connectivity. Only then the slicer will work. Otherwise, around the slicer will not work.
Got it. Yeah, got it. Got it.
Understood?
Yeah. From like,
Any questions on the model view again?
no.
No, it's very good. Can you give me some why we are doing this modeling? What is the use of this modeling? Overview just.
Model view is only for you to understand how two different tables are connected. Let's say, for example, I created a particular Power BI report for your team and then gave the report to you. Okay.
Okay.
So Sunil, what he will do, he will start using the Power BI report. He will open the report and then he will see. So slicers are already available. The moment once you click on the slice and dice the data, everything is being connected. Now Sunil is
Okay.
so interested to understand how they have created this particular model or this report.
Okay.
Where will you
Okay.
go and refer this?
Okay.
That is where you'll get into the model view.
Okay. I'm asking one stupid question. I don't want to see this modeling. Okay.
Huh,
So
huh.
how it will impact to work on the Power BI if I didn't understand this concept?
If you don't understand the concept, okay.
Yeah.
Now I'll give you one particular report. Let's say I'll show you something. If I have this an example, there is something called retail analysis sample PBIX. Let me
Okay.
open this file.
Okay.
And by the way, there is no stupid question or anything. Whenever you learn, everything is a valid
Yeah.
question. So I don't feel like that. Don't feel like that.
No, you have explained the modeling very well. One to one, one to many, many to one, many to many. All the very good. And we are using slicer and pivot table. Good to understand. But I just want to understand why we are doing this.
Yes, I'm going to show you that. Let me open
Yes.
one new
Yes.
report.
Yes.
There
Yes.
is a
Yes.
new report being created by Microsoft usually. So they
Okay.
created a particular report. Let's see this report
Okay.
now.
Okay.
Okay, so there is a report has been created like this, which is info overview district monthly sales and new stores.
Okay.
Okay, so this is a data which they have created and then left it. And I created this report and I gave you. So you have opened the report and then you are looking at this. There is an overview. It tells me what is the overview of this. So there is a store sales overview, and there are some different kinds of right. So there
Mm-hmm.
are different data tables here given,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a direct monthly sale.
Okay.
And when I look at this direct monthly sale, there are certain visuals which are being created. Now there is a
Mm-hmm.
district manager. When I click on the district manager, it is giving me this information, right? You see, it is
Okay.
slicing and dicing the data properly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Now the point is, you want to add one more slicer,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
or or you want to understand how the slicer is working between all the tables.
Okay.
Where will you go and refer? The first question. Will you go to the Power
Okay.
Query and then understand? Because when you go to the Power Query, yes, you can able to go back to the Power Query, but sometimes in the Power Query, you might see the tables have been created or there might be connected from different data set altogether,
Right.
wherein you
Right.
might not have the connectivity.
So
Then what is going to happen when there is no connectivity? The first thing, you will not have access to the data.
right.
So you can't do anything over it, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Then model view. Let's say I'll go to the model view then. When I go to the model view, you look at this. I'm going to select one of all the tables here. Now all
Mm-hmm.
the four tables are being updated. All the four tables have been updated.
Mm-hmm.
Four, no, five tables are updated,
Right. Right. Five tables.
right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will see, according to them, there is a district manager. So I don't know where is this district manager is coming up. So what I'll do, I'll
Mm-hmm.
search here. Okay, manager. He is in from which place?
Mm-hmm.
Or let's say either from here to here, anywhere. So it is coming from the district only, I guess. DM. It is not
DM.
known to be. It is not to be manager.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
says a DM. So you see there is a DM.
Mm-hmm.
So this DM is added as a slicer here, correct?
Right.
Now when I go to the district and when I hover the mouse here,
Mm-hmm.
let me increase the screen.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't see actually.
So
Yeah.
now when I hover the mouse, you see this is being connected to district and stores are being connected to each other. And this is
Right.
one to many relationship.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is easy for me to understand,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Correct.
Since these two are normally connected, I'm able to see when they have brought in the slicer for the DM, it is automatically dicing the data. Suppose, for example, when I go to the model view and then I will say right click on this and delete this relationship for a minute. Now the line is gone away
Right.
between the district and store. Now I'll go back to my report. And when I click on this, do I see any data moving anywhere?
No.
Because it is not connected.
It is not connected. Now, if I
Yeah.
want to retain this back, how do I go back? Okay, now you thought, okay, I have done some mistake. Now I want to return this back. How do I do it? Now, when I go back and click on the manage relationship, okay,
Not
and then
detect.
click on the new, and then select from the district and select the not sales store, right? So I'm connecting through the district ID. It has already been done, so I don't need to do anything. So I'll click on this, click on close. Now I'll see that there is a connectivity coming up back.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I go to the report view, now you see when I change this again, it is working.
Yes.
So model view will help me how the tables are being connected. What if I
Okay.
remove the relationship? What it is going to create an impact over to me on the report.
Okay.
Even though you don't have, say, when I go to the transform data on the Power Query, it didn't load the data for me because I don't have the connectivity. I don't have the access towards the real database. But however, on the front end, I can still figure it out how these tables are being connected and why the data is being connected.
Right.
That is where your model view will actually help. What is the connectivity
Okay.
between two different tables or three different tables or the complete model?
Okay.
Lakshmi, go to this model view once again.
Yes.
Here, we can no, go down, yeah. So here we can understand. Please go down, please. Here the connectivity. Yeah, I need to see this one to many. I can understand from one to star connection. Is it if I see in the
Star का मतलब है mini.
many? Correct. Yeah, that means if it is one to many, then one is there and star is there. That means one to many.
Yeah, starting from, which means from the district to store. You see the direction here.
Yeah. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
From the district to store, it is a one to many relationship.
Okay.
From store to sales, it is one to many relationship.
Yeah.
Again, from time to sales, it is one to many relationship.
Yeah.
Again, from
Many to one. This one.
item to sales, it is one to many.
Sorry, the arrow is this way. Yeah.
Yeah, arrow is in this way.
Correct. Okay.
Now you understood like how you can understand the model creativity.
Yeah, it's too easy to understand. Yeah, because when you are going to make this slicer and all, yeah.
Right. So that's why you don't actually get into the model view unless and until you go to the model view only for you to understand how the tables are talking to each other. Simple.
Perfect. Right.
But when you go to the model view, you will see all this kind of dotted connections, solid connections, start of the number. You will see one to many or star to star, which means many to many, star to one. It is many to one. This technicality, how you will understand is that is what I have given you the complete background about it now.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Right.
Good. So any questions on this again?
No question.
Suchitra,
are you good?
Yeah, looking it good. I don't know while creating, let's see, while practicing. I think
need to
it will
practice
give
it.
many questions.
See,
Because
do
by
it with a
looking
simple
your
data.
click,
Do
by
it with a
looking
simple
your
data.
click, yeah. I have one question. Maybe little bit late to ask, but if I see the consolidated file and the suppose Asia file, and now the data is mostly familiar, but if the data is not familiar with us and we are not able to find that which is the unique data by looking the file, if in the case, so we can able to detect in this the relation that one to one in
Yes,
the
exactly. That is where your
okay.
model view will give you the understanding.
Okay. Okay.
When I go to the model view here,
So you can
and
see
then, yeah, see, this is altogether a new data, which is not the data I have given you.
So it is clearly seen that 1 2 start to 1 and
Okay.
towards the
Right.
arrow we can understand that what is 1 to 1. But we need to check the which actually column it is like
Then you need
similar.
to hover the mouse. You need to hover the mouse here on the table. Now
Yeah,
you see,
yes, 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 yes. Just click this or
yeah,
the mouse.
it
Yes,
will
it
tell
was.
you like what is the common point between those two.
Okay.
When I hover the mouse here, now you see it is
Mm-hmm.
picking up the location ID. So you're
Yeah,
not able to see it here. Okay, so you can scroll down and then you can just see. Still, it is not be able to visible. Now, if
and
it is not
maybe
visible, then you can just increase it.
yeah,
Okay, increase the size of it. Now, when I hover the mouse here, okay, somewhere it is going to add this information. Now you see.
yeah, yeah. It's easy to understand. Yeah, model view is very easy instead of table.
Yes, model view
Mm-hmm.
will be easy. Only thing is like you will just have to take a look at that and then see, um, how it is going to just, I mean,
Works
how they
actually.
are talking to each other.
Yes,
Otherwise,
I
yes.
around
see.
either you can do it this way. When you go to the model view, okay,
Mm-hmm.
still if you think this is little confusing, you can click on this manage relationship box. When you click on the manage relationship box here, it will say from table to table. Wherever it is check mark on the active, which is a solid line. Wherever it is not check mark, it is a dotted line,
Dotted line.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
right? So if I want to
Yes.
click on this, if I want to click on this one, sales to store, okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll just double click on this. It will tell me, you see, sales to store. It is many
Yeah,
to one
location.
relationship. Location
Okay.
ID is the common factor.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is a single direction, which is a single direction ka matlab hai, it only gives you the relation from sale to store, not from
Sales to
store to
store.
sale.
Yeah. Yeah. That I got it.
Or either you can do it this way. You can select any one of the table here. You can select any one of the table here. Based on the table, it will also give you the properties within here. You can identify here itself.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
You understood?
Yeah. Got it.
That is what your model view tells you.
Mm-hmm.
See, initially, I would say model view ka zarurat nahi padta hai initially. But what I would say, you do it and then look at your model view also for having more understanding about it. Only then you will understand it, or only then you will have a hands-on experience on what a model view is also.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, around what is going to happen in all the different sessions of the Power BI is whenever you look at that, what they say, okay, you do this, you load the data, everything has been loaded, everything has been done. Okay, you bring the slicer. Now slicer is being connected here. Now everything is getting sliced. Is it okay? Everyone say, yeah, it is working perfectly good. But no one will try to go into the model view and then see why it is being done. The background of it, you will find it in the model view only, which is the simple way.
Got it.
Okay, that's the reason I take some time. I take some time, focus more on what are the different techniques that you can use on the model view so that you will be able to understand everything. Now
Yes, it
this
is very
becomes much more
useful.
easier. Okay,
Yes.
all right. If you don't have any questions, then I'll just give a pause here. Let's take a 10 minutes break and then we'll regroup again.
Okay.
Okay, okay, no problem. Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, right.
So, Anirudh and Lakshmi, I guess both of you are there. What I was trying to say to Anirudh, just let me share my screen.
Yeah. Please.
So, if you remember, uh,
Uh-huh.
okay, let me just share my screen. So, I guess you're able to see my screen.
Correct. Yes, I can see.
So, this is what the last pivot table, if you remember, we discussed, and over there,
Yes.
multiple pivot tables were there, and multiple charts were there, and we are
Yeah.
connecting with
Yeah.
a slicer.
Yes.
So this is what we are talking about. I was trying to remind that we have discussed about report connections.
Yes.
Nothing else. So
Mhm.
that's what I wanted to give a heads up to you while Srikant was discussing about that.
Mm.
All right, Srikant, you please continue. No problem.
And that is we need to like connection like in between the
Yes,
table. Yeah.
yes, that is what he tried to establish, that how to
Mhm.
create that relationship when you have
Mhm.
multiple tables or multiple data sets also. So the same
Yeah.
thing is when you go for creating a slicers, it's not only one pivot table you can connect or one data set you can connect with multiple data sets. So that is
Yes.
what the data modeling purpose would be very, very helpful. So ideally, when you go to the Excel, what we do, we create a copy paste. Though we have the data scattered into multiple locations, we do a
Mhm.
lot of creating copy paste of work data. We create a master data, then we start to play around. But here,
Yes.
in the data set in multiple folders, multiple sheets also, we can
Mhm.
create the data connections and we can build up the data modeling, and that will be helping us to work out. That's what the different
Yes.
Yep.
different types of relationship models was telling you.
Correct.
Only point I'll just add it over there. What Prabhas have just given some example to you guys earlier. See, the only difference what I'm trying to say, when you have a simple data set and we are creating a pivot table, you can create multiple pivot tables within the same data set. Okay, so like pivot table 1, pivot table 2, pivot table 3, pivot table 4 with a single data set. Okay, and when you update a slicer over there, you can, using the report connections, you can control all the pivot tables which are coming from a single data source. Suppose you are getting multiple data sources. Okay, in an ideal scenario, multiple data source. When I say multiple data source, your data source could be from one sheet, another data set from another another sheet, another data from another data sheet, and you're creating three pivot tables from three different sources, and you create a slicer for one of the data source, then the other two cannot be connected because they are from
Mhm.
different data set altogether. They are from outside the data set, correct? But that happens consolidatedly in the Power BI using this model technique.
Okay. That means in the Excel it is not possible to every data consolidate in a one slicer until and unless if I do the connection with the like any formulas and all. But in the Power BI, it is possible. Like
Yes, it is possible in the Power
yeah,
BI.
yeah, yeah. That's a bad advantage here.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Suchitra is back. Anirudh is back. Sunil and Samir, are you guys back?
Yes.
Yes, I'm
Okay. Good. Good. So let's continue then. Okay. First thing, what you guys do is again, so once you're on the model view, so since you are able to understand this model view, I would request everyone to just go back to the transform data one more time. Click on the transform data directly. That it
Okay.
will take you to the Power Query editor screen, everyone.
Yes.
Okay. So once you are on the Power Query editor screen, click on the consolidated table.
Oh,
On the Power Query editor screen. So click on the transform data to go to the Power Query editor screen. and then click on the consolidated table.
Click on the consolidated table. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So right now on the consolidated table, everyone should have 21 columns of the data.
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
Correct?
Yeah.
Right. Now, using this methodology, which is add column, okay, go to the add column tab and click on
Okay.
the custom column option.
Yeah.
Just a minute. Right. So once you click on the add column, custom column, okay, you use this kind of DAX, whatever I have shown here. Use this kind of the DAX. So we are
Okay.
just multiplying the average cost for the two into USD. As I told you,
Average.
individually in the consolidated table, the average cost for two is shown for different regions with the different currencies. Now we are going to bring everything under one particular currency, which is USD dollar. So to bring in, we are just converting the data multiplied by the USD dollar so that we are going to get the result out of it.
So from where I will get this average cost for
On the
two?
right hand side, available columns, when you scroll down. So initially
Okay.
you will have this like this. Okay.
Average cost. Yeah, I got
Initially it says custom, right? So give a
it.
name called average in
Uh, okay.
USD, and under the custom column formula on the right hand side, scroll down and double click on the average cost for two. Then simply give a star and then select the two USD column. Double click on this. Then you click on the OK. That it will give you a new column which is added.
And just a second. It is. You need to multiply, right?
Yes, it's a multiplication.
Okay. Start. Okay. Then USD.
Yep.
Two
Average cost
USD.
for two into 2 USD.
Okay. Then okay.
It will create a new column with the average in USD with some numbers. So
Yeah.
convert that into decimal number. Using the change type step, just convert that into a decimal number.
Yeah. Done it. Yeah. Yeah.
Now with this, you will see 22 columns are there in the consolidated table.
Correct. Yeah.
Right? Everyone are on the same page?
Yep.
Yes, 22.
Okay.
Why
All
you
right.
have done this? Actually, can you recall once again, Lakshmi?
See,
Because of the changes the USD conversion or?
a USD conversion. See, when we brought the information from different continents, every continent used their own currency.
Yes. Yes.
Now, if
Yeah.
I start reporting the numbers out, the numbers will be like a very huge in number. Somewhere it will show very high, somewhere it will show very low, right? There is no consistency over the data that I am seeing because some of the data might show as Indian dollar, Indian rupee, some of them as Indonesian rupee, something
Yeah.
as Sri Lankan dollar. But
Okay.
overall, the worldwide, if we show a single currency, it will make sense more.
Correct. Correct. Correct.
Yeah.
Just conversion the actually currency that you have done, right?
Yes, we are just converting the actual data in the from the local currency to USD dollar.
Yes, you can say. Okay, got it.
So,
Yeah.
Srikanth sir,
Yep.
yeah, I missed a step once. I got in the add column, then I created custom column, then I'm coming average cost. I put it the name column name, new column name. Then what will be the next step?
Just after you got the result, okay, have you applied this formula average cost into average cost for 2 into 2 USD?
No, just a minute. So from the right side, available column is coming, right?
Available
From there, we
columns,
have to
yes.
select.
Average cost for 2, double click on that. It will automatically come onto the formula screen.
It is not coming. Should I get insert? Average cost per two.
See, this is how it is looking up right now for you.
Yes.
And now double click on the average cost for 2. First thing it
I'm
will come
clicking.
up
I
like
did
this.
double click, but it is not coming. Like it is coming your sheet. It is not coming.
You can insert also.
Okay.
Earlier.
Yes, insert. It is coming.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. Then space into star, matlab give star, because star is multiplication, right?
Yes, yes.
And then scroll
Space
down to
star or
find the,
just star?
yeah, you can do it. Space star का
Okay.
जरूरत ही नहीं है, normal star also.
Okay, then given star.
And then USD, to USD.
Okay, okay.
Select the
Got
column
it.
to USD.
Okay, to
And
USD.
then
I
click
got it.
OK. It should add a column there.
Okay, yes, yes, it is coming now.
Now convert
Yes.
that, or convert that data type into decimal number.
Okay.
Okay. So then you should
Yes.
see it has 1.2 average in USD like this on the top, if you have converted to the decimal number.
Right. It is coming now.
Good. Now this is what we have done. We have added few more statistics. Now let's see, how do you add a custom formula in Power BI, okay, or the Power Query. So we call we call this as a DAX, okay. In Power Query or the Power BI, any formula that you are writing, okay, so that is referred to a name called DAX.
Yeah.
Okay, the full form for the
Okay.
DAX is data analysis expression. It's called data analysis expression. Okay.
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 Now, what is the use of a DAX and why do we have to use a DAX in Power Query or the Power BI? So DAX is nothing but a kind of a formulas that you are going to write, wherein you are trying to analyze the data using this particular methodology. Okay. So
Okay.
when you do this way, how you are able to achieve the results are in a simple method. So DAX could be different forms. DAX can be of different forms. One, you can write a formula directly in the Power BI, which will give you a result that is called DAX. Okay.
Okay.
There is another form called measure. There is another form called measure. Even in measure, you're going to write DAX. Okay. But it is called measure. What does a measure mean in? A measure means it's a custom formula. Have you heard about add-ins in Excel?
Yes, yes, yes. We have
Okay. Add-ins are nothing but your custom formula, which is not there available. You're creating a custom formula within the
options
Excel.
version. Yeah.
Okay. So likewise, what I would say, DAX in Power BI is of three different forms. One is a direct formula that you can apply. So which means right now, whatever the added custom column you have done, that's a direct formula. That is one different type of DAX. Another DAX will be measure, wherein you're going to write the formula over there, but the output of it will be like a consolidated formula. It's a consolidated formula. So when I say consolidated formula, for example, in a database, like let's say for example, you are measuring your, or you have a data called sales USD. Okay. Maybe I think this example will be very helpful for the people who have attended Prabha's session. Okay. There
Yeah.
is one particular um, let me just remind it. So there is one particular section where Prabhas would have dealt, stated, how do you present your data, wherein there is only sales information given for month on month, and there is no data over there. So from there, we have created like year on year data, month on month, appended values. So there is one
Yeah.
particular portion we have done. So the
Right.
same portion where he have done with the data, where there is no information, but we are creating some extra information, right?
Right.
Those information can be created in the Power BI with the form of measure. Okay. So which means you are going to write a formula. The output of it will be in the form of a symbol, one single number. That's it.
So here
Okay.
measure means it can be like, for example, if I want to get something average, with the some
Average,
data.
right,
Yeah, or minimum or maximum that we have used in the Excel as well, but actually we have done
right.
in first classes. Yeah.
So it's a a measure can be done. It's a DAX applied for a particular custom, applied for a column. For example,
Correct.
this average in the USD. For example, let's take it average in
Mhm.
the USD. Now, can I calculate an average for this particular column? Yes.
Yeah.
How do I do it? I can add one more column like this. You don't do it. Don't do it on your screens. Just watch my
Yeah.
screen. What I can do is I'll go to the add column, click on the custom column.
Yeah.
Okay. And then here I will mention this. There is a formula called average. And then
Mhm.
I'll open the bracket. And you see this is a new column which is average in USD.
Correct.
So I'm going to just add this column and then say click on OK. Now I'm going to see a result over here. Okay, I will see a result over here. In an ideal scenario, I will see an average here. Okay,
Now,
what
how
is
do you
it? This
how did you add this column, particular column? Just let me show this.
let me just remove it. So I'm
Yeah.
saying here custom column. Using the custom column, I'm adding one more column here. Okay, you don't do
Okay.
it. Just
No,
watch
no.
the
Okay.
screen.
Yeah.
I'm using a formula called average.
Mhm.
Okay, so average can be for which column I can. I mean, I need to choose one of the column for which is average. Correct.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say, okay, this is average. Calculate the
In
average
USD.
for the average in USD column and then
Okay.
click OK.
Mm-hmm.
So I can create an average column. Anyways, you don't need to worry. This is just a sample I'm going to say. This is a column I can create it. Or
Yeah.
either I would say, let's say if this is not the case, I'm going to use a sum, for example.
Mm-hmm.
I can create some column like this,
It
but
seems
instead
you
of
have
doing,
to. It
sorry,
seems you are having the name column, so it is not coming. It may be.
yes, there is an issue with this, so it is not coming up. That's fine. But we can create a particular column like this. Instead of creating the column, what I can do is I can create a measure. That measure says whenever I say measure, let's say I give a name called average. Whenever I say average, it should take the average of this average in USD. Okay,
Okay.
that is what it will show you, which we are going to do it in the later stage. But I'm just giving you an example how the average is going to pick up. So DAX is one is a direct form like what you have done right now, or either you can create a measure or you can create a custom column or calculated column. Okay, so these are three different forms of DAX which we are going to use in the Power BI overall. So calculated column and measures can be done or used on the Power BI screen, which we are going to do it on the later stage. So for now, let's concentrate more on the DAX where you can write few more DAX formulas. I'll show you one of the DAX formula, like what you have done on the average USD. Let's do one more DAX formula.
Yeah.
Now, how many of you say writing an if condition or writing a if formula in Excel using the combination of if and or
Hmm.
using nested if? Okay, nested if
Yes.
function में if and or use करके if you are going to write a formula, how many of you say it is so difficult in writing in Excel?
Yes.
A
Yes.
little difficult, but not
Yeah.
much.
It is little difficult because the difficulty will happen not by giving your logics, because
Correct.
of the parenthesis. Parenthesis is nothing but your bracket.
Mm.
If
Yes,
you
Yeah.
miss
yes.
a bracket anywhere in between, that is where you'll feel little bit of you'll struggle a lot in Excel, correct?
Right,
Correct.
right.
So that is where you're going to actually spend more time in terms of giving the parenthesis more. But
Yes.
you will do the same thing here. You're going to see the same thing here in Power BI, how simple it is going to be. Okay.
Okay.
So the agenda here, what I'm going to do is there is an aggregate rating column which is given. Okay. There is an aggregate rating which is already given. Now for each of the aggregate rating, although there is a rating text, I want to create one more formula and then say, based upon the ratings which have been given, I'm going to bifurcate what is good, what is excellent, what is average, what is minimum, something like this. Okay, how do I do it? So the question here is, I'm going to say wherever the average rating is between 0 to 4. Okay, I don't consider them. So I will just say 0 to 4 it should say exclude. Okay, and then between 4 to 4.5 it should say good, and then between 4.5 or above to 5 it should say excellent. Okay, there are only three conditions. Wherever it says 0 to 4 rating, it should exclude. Between 4 and 4.5 it should say good, and anything above 4.5 should be excellent. So how do I write the same thing in the DAX? So watch my screen first, then I'll give you time to write it over there in your files. So for that, I'll go to the add column and again click on the custom column and give a name here. I'll say average rating, or let's say rating. I'll just mention it as rating. And here I'm going to write the formula. So the way I write the formula, the way I'll tell you, just watch the screen. Do not, go out of the screens and then concentrate somewhere else, so that it will be easy for you how you can do this. Now, remember the very first thing whenever you're writing DAX in Power BI or the Power Query, the very first thing specific to the if condition, every sentence or anything that you are going to use, every word should always be in the small letter, no capitals anywhere. Okay, no capital letters anywhere. So I'll
Yes.
start with small if space, and I'll say if. On the right hand side, I'm scrolling down and then say rating text. I double click on the rating text and then say if the rating text is greater than 0 and space rating text is less than 4, less than or equal to 4. Okay, I'm giving like this. If the rating text is greater than 0 and rating text is lesser than or equal to 4, then it is exclude. Exclude should always be in the double quotes. As I told you, remember, it's not
Yeah.
just only the word.
Right. Right.
Any text, any alphanumeric should always be in the double quote.
No.
Okay. If rating text is greater than 0 and the rating text is lesser than or equal to 4, then exclude. Space else if. Okay. Again, the same thing. The rating text is greater than 4 and rating text is lesser than or equal to 4.5, then it should be good. Else, if the rating text is greater than 4.5, then it is excellent. And it should always end with a statement, else null. Whenever you are using if condition, it should always end with null. That's a better way. Okay.
Null in okay.
Null in the sense
It,
like don't give me any answer, just leave it as a blank.
but it should not be in a double quoted bracket.
No, it should
Bracket.
not.
Sorry.
Null will automatically null will
Automatic.
automatically understand it is a 0.
Okay. Okay.
So I'll click on OK. When I click on OK, it should be the average rating. So let's see this. Let me just see. It should be the same thing. Did I miss anything here? Value. Sometimes this will happen for some reason, what it is picking up 4.8. Okay, so let me just write it again. If the rating text, where is the rating text? Is greater than 0 and lesser than or equal, and rating text is less than or equal to 4, then exclude. Else null. Let me just go one by one. If it gives me an answer or not, it'll still give me an error. Let me see what is the error.
Shrikant, is it rating text is everything is in text and not numbers? And is it we are giving less than 0 and there is no relationship between rating text and that field?
It should not be ideally because it is the same thing.
Yes.
So that's what I'm just taking a look at that. Is it changing anything? Let me take a look at this way. Then exclude else null. Ideally, it should not be any problem. Let's see this greater than 4. Then exclude. Is there any problem with this? Let me see this conditional column. Doesn't equal or equals other than. Okay, for some reason it is picking up like this, I guess. Okay, this is add column, custom column. If the rating text greater than mm, rating text is less than equal to 4. null.
Is naming the column name is mandatory requirement?
No, not required. So that's the reason I
Okay.
just mentioned it as custom. So it is picking up. So which means I would say this is still treating this as a text value. For some reason, it is taking as a text value. It should not treat like this.
So Srikant, means I'm just confused why we are taking rating text instead of aggregated rating.
Instead of aggregate rating.
We are taking
Oh,
rating text.
okay. Sorry, my mistake. Thank you. I'm sorry. No, I should take aggregate rating, but I'm taking rating text. My bad. I'm sorry. I'm using a wrong value. That's the reason it is giving. I didn't notice it. Thanks. If aggregate rating is greater than 0 and the same aggregate rating is less than or equal to 4, then we'll say exclude. Else, if aggregate rating is greater than 4 and aggregate rating is less than or equal to 4.5, then it should say good. Else, if aggregate rating is greater than 4.5, then it should say excellent. Else, null. Now I should see the result. I didn't observe that I'm using rating text. Thanks for reminding. Right now you see the results. So let's say wherever it is null, you'll see what is aggregate rating. The aggregate rating is 0.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Suppose, for example, when I put a filter here between uh, greater than or equal to is greater than 4 and lesser than or equal to 4.5, then what is that we have given? It should say good.
Good, yeah.
Right? So you should
Yeah.
see the custom column. It says good everywhere.
Yeah.
So let me just tweak the formula here. Greater than 0 के बदले greater than or equal to 0. Then the null will also be covered. See? We'll have only 3 values here, not more than that.
Right.
Now just give a try on your systems and then see how easy the formula. When you are writing, I would say when you're writing the formula, read the formula and write it. Like if aggregate rating is greater than or equal to 0, just keep reading it and then write. You will feel, just give me an understanding like how you feel writing these formulas here.
So aggregate rating, okay.
Could you paste this formula on text? A little difficult to read.
No, I'll paste it later. You write the formula like this. You read outside and
Okay.
write it. Like
Okay.
if
Okay.
aggregate rating is greater than or equal to 0. So wherever you need to select the column and then type greater than or is equal to 0. And
Okay. Okay.
again,
I got it.
right, do it and then see how you can understand it.
So
Yes. Yes.
Lakshmi,
Yes.
if I put the if, so should I put I cap or
No, nowhere you are not going to write, capitals. Everything should be in the small letter.
so if I put in small letter, it is not coming the formula. The way is coming in the Excel. It is not like that. The listed down I'm talking about, drop down list.
Which drop down list you're saying? No. Suppose, for example, if I need to write the formula here, okay, I'll type small letters IF
Okay. It's like the same. Yeah. Now again, then I need to.
space,
Okay, space.
and then you are going to select the column aggregate rating.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Double click on the aggregate rating, then space greater than or equal to 0. So basically what we say is the way you write the formula, the way you spell out the formula, the way you write it, both should be the same.
What is the formula? Can you show once again that formula?
See, if the aggregate rating is greater than or equal to 0 and lesser than or equal to 4, then it should say exclude.
So, okay. And
Else if it is greater than 4.
And average rating less than equals to 4, then exclude. Okay. Less than and equals to 4. Exclude. Okay. Well, rating. Average rating greater than 4 and okay. Okay. Greater than 4. Average rating.
Let me know who is successful in writing the formula.
Less than 5. 4.5 and then if it is good, then after that, what else actually? I forgot that one. Else
Above,
if.
above 4.5, it should say excellent.
So again, I need to put the else if.
Yes.
Else if.
When you're reading and writing the formula, then that is where you'll feel the difference of this formula.
Yeah. So else if average rating greater than 4.5, it would be excellent, right?
Excellent. Yes.
4.5, 10, 100, comma, excellent. And after that, null, then
Else, if all the conditions are not met, then it's a null value. It should return null.
null. And full stop or what?
No full
Leave it.
stop. Just leave it. Else
Okay,
null, and then click on OK.
okay. Yeah, I created. Yeah.
So you're able to see the results in the last column
Yeah,
without
yeah.
any null values. Only 3 values should be there.
No, I have a null values.
Which means either somewhere you might have missed one particular condition. Maybe greater than or equal to somewhere in the beginning or ending, or somewhere you should have missed out.
Where I can see this one again? Formula.
Double click on this.
Double click on the column.
Double click on the formula. You see, double click on the formula.
Oh, okay.
When you
It is
double
showing in
click
the.
here, you will see.
It is showing in the like formula box in upstairs.
Yeah, it will show in the formula bar. It will also show. When you double
But
click on that, it will come back.
okay. Can I show my screen if it's possible?
Yes, you can share your screen.
Yeah, just a second. You can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Just a second. Yeah, this one. Somewhere I got the null value.
Yeah,
So this
that's
is
where I said like you can double click on that added custom one on the applied steps.
here.
Double click on that.
Yeah.
Aggregate rating is greater than or equal to 4, then exclude, else if aggregate greater than 4 and lesser than 4. See, less than or equal to 4.5.
Here, huh?
You are missing the condition for the equal to 4.5.
Yeah. That's fine.
Now click OK.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah.
Suchitra, if greater than is greater than or equal to 0 and aggregate less than 4, then exclude, else if aggregate rate. Suchitra, you see, that's what I have told you very clearly. If should always be in the small letter. In the entire DAX, you should never use any capital letter anywhere.
So now it is okay, no?
Okay.
No, for you it is okay, sir. I think Suchitra, I'm talking about.
Okay.
She is mentioning everywhere it is capital I and small f.
Okay. So okay, I stop my sharing. Everything is fine. So I can change the column name, right? This.
Yes, you can change the column name.
I
Oh,
write
so
the formula, but option to click OK is not coming.
Sunil, you want to share your screen?
Yes.
what should be the column name? This you have put it. This rating or something.
Yeah,
Rating.
just give rating.
Rating. Okay.
See, when you look at the formula, the way you have written the formula is absolutely completely different. There is a 9 in front of aggregate rating. That doesn't make sense. And before aggregate rating, there is a flower bracket. After that, after end, the first line, after end,
Okay.
after end, before the aggregate rating, there is a flower bracket. Yeah. And then is equal to 4 exclude if aggregate. Yeah, everywhere you have mentioned the same way, looks like. You don't need to use any parenthesis here. No parenthesis
So
required.
yeah, so here is easy to understand because it's not required for parentheses. We can just
Yeah.
write it like typing. So
Yes. Click on OK.
yeah,
And that's the reason why I have told you
yeah,
when you're writing the formula,
yeah.
do not just write the formula. Read out, spell out. Like you remember, you
Yeah.
used to do
It's like
this.
a notepad where we are putting something, like this.
Right. Now you click
Yeah.
on OK.
Thank you.
So you remember the way we used to practice ABCD, like we used
Yeah,
to say A, and then we used
yeah.
to practice it. That is how you need to do it. Trust me. This sounds kiddish, but still it is better.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I changed if no.
Why do you have space after null? If aggregate rating is greater than or is equal to 0 and aggregate is less than 4, then exclude, else if get 4 and see if aggregate rating is greater than 4, and again why do you are using if condition over there?
It should be else only.
No, it's not. It should not be else. No, you're um, Suchitra, you're not writing the formula in a proper way.
Mm, mm, okay, I have to remove that else if okay. Yeah, but
See, you need to write it in a way where how you are reading it. You know that when you're writing it, read it very clearly. If space aggregate rating space greater than or is equal to 0 and
mm,
aggregate rating is lesser than or equal to 4, then exclude. Else,
Mm,
if aggregate rating is greater than 4 and
mm,
lesser than or equal to 4.5, then good. Else, if aggregate rating is greater than 4.5, then excellent. Else, null.
null. Yes.
okay.
Correct.
You read it and write it. Read it and write it. That is where you will get this tax. See, if you are if you're good at formulas in Excel, trust me, the DAX is not a, uh, you know,
Uh,
it's not so
difficult.
difficult for you.
Yeah.
But you will find it here easier unless and until you don't write it proper way. And that's the reason I give you a caution, right? Whenever you're writing the DAX in Power BI, you need to be very cautious, like it is case sensitive. So you need to put everything in a small letter in order to understand it.
Mm.
Now it's working.
Good. Samir, you were able to do it?
Yeah, yes, you can. Done.
All right. So I'll just paste the formula anyways. So now you understand like how you can write the DAX formula, like the DAX formula.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
Shrikant,
Yes.
Prabhas here. See,
Yeah, Prabhas.
suppose say somebody 11 is asking me
Hmm.
that I know if formula, but
Hmm.
I don't understand this DAX.
Hmm.
So in the simple language, if formula he knows that if the logical test he's trying to test, there are two conditions applies: value if true, value if false, right?
Yes.
So in our case, else if is nothing but you mean to say value if false.
Yes.
Okay. And the last expression, the null value, what we are
Hmm.
giving, if you do not define that, what are the consequences?
If you're not defining anything, then what it will, how does it close the loop? Basically, we are just trying to close the loop.
Okay.
Suppose, for example, else null value का मतलब होता है, okay, if all these above conditions are not met, then tell me, don't give me any answer. Just give me a null value, like a space, zero.
No, but we can't get it, no, right? This null value means in actual scenario. If I see into the aggregate rating, if I put the 0, so that it comes exclude.
No, no,
Okay.
there might be case, I'll tell you, there might be a case when the value may be negative. It's not about rating, you take it in that way. You take it something value, I have got a debit balance or credit balance in terms of financial terms. We talk about like we have our customers balances or vendors balances when
Mhm.
you're talking about, we may be having both the cases. So in this case, when we do the aging or bucketing of the data 0 to 30, 31 to 60, all these cases, this kind of expressions would be very, very helpful rather than writing a lengthy if statement in the front end. So I was just thinking in that way. Anyway, no problem. So that's what I wanted to understand. Hope it is
Suppose,
clear.
for example, if you don't want null value, for example, let's look at this way. You don't want null value. Okay. You want something else. Let's say no rating. I'm putting this in a double quote because it is a text format, right?
Can you show your screen?
Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm not sharing my screen. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's visible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Instead of null, I would say else no rating. Give me as no rating. Then it will give you no rating. You want
Where?
any custom value here, you can just give it in the end.
No, in the output I
End.
can get. No, no. If there is nothing, so means if you're telling there is no value in the aggregate rating, it should be coming no rating.
No, no, not like that. See,
Then
what I'm saying, if I gave three conditions, the conditions, whatever the conditions I gave, one is greater than or zero or less than or equal to four. Tell me it should be exclude, correct?
yes, yes,
Otherwise, around if it is greater than 4 and 4.5, it should say good.
yeah.
Otherwise, around if it is greater than 4.5, give me excellent. If any of these conditions are not met,
Hmm.
then what should be your answer?
So, for example, if it is in the aggregate column, aggregate rating column, nothing is there. For example, 0 also is not there. Then it should come no rating. You are telling like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Any of these conditions, whatever in aggregate rating, if there is a value or no value or whatever, if any of these conditions are not met, then the last condition it should say no rating.
That means it is an error kind of thing. So
Kind
instead
of,
of coming
if a
error,
yes,
yeah. So it is coming NA or something in the Excel. So it should be coming no rating.
yes,
Right?
instead of that.
Yeah.
You can give anything here, okay?
No.
But the
Okay.
last condition will be like if all your conditions are not met, then finally you tell me whatever the condition that you want to bring, you can bring in here.
Okay.
I have one question, Srikant.
Yes.
Suppose I want to say that for restaurant having rating 4 will be eligible for 5,000 incentive, and for to 4.5, 10,000 or something like that. So
Okay.
instead of putting the text, can we put the value?
Yes, you can put the value. For
Okay.
example, I'll do this way. If aggregate rating is greater than 0 or less than 4, okay, then
Yes.
what I will say, they are eligible for 10,000 bonus.
Yes.
I'll write here 10,000.
Okay.
If this is greater than 0 or less, then their eligible bonus should be somewhere around 20,000.
Okay.
If this is excellent, then their value should be somewhere around 30,000 as their bonus.
Okay.
Else, give me a 0 value or a rating, because we need to be giving 0 value. Here,
Right.
if I say no rating, what is going to work? What is going to happen? It will give you the value, but
Right.
then
Right.
your custom value will be having a mixture of text and numbers together, right?
Right.
So when you are trying to calculate anything, you will not get the value. So better if you are giving text, maintain the complete text. If you are
Got it.
maintaining number, maintain a number.
Okay.
So now you see your column value will have this way.
Right. And we can use this figure for any purpose like other column, right?
Yes, you can do it.
Okay. I got it.
Srikant, I have one question.
Yes.
Just open that formula. Right. So see, just a simple logical layman question I'm asking could be one. Instead of writing if and, can't we make like simple if the aggregate rating less than equal to 4, rather writing more than 0, more than equal to 0 and less than equal to 4. If you go for a simple if aggregate rating less than equal to 4, then this
Logic will be applied both for 0. Like this you are talking about, right?
yeah, as we write our normal function, not with if and else if. So just if formula, like we do the looping.
Only this.
Then you continue the rest of conditions, writing and formula. Instead of writing and formula, only giving the maximum limit, like less than equal to 4, then less than equal to 5, like that.
Okay, that loop will not be there, because see, any condition you need to have, you will have an upper boundary and lower boundary. So here you are defining that, okay, anything if it is lesser than or equal to 4, then it should say 10,000. That's it.
Right, right. Similarly, else if you go for
Else if,
uh again aggregate rating.
okay, I understand what you are saying now.
Yeah,
Again, aggregate rating is lesser than or equal to 5, or let's say
simple.
4.5,
Simple.
right?
Yes,
Yes.
Then it should say 20,000.
right.
Else if aggregate rating is lesser than 5, then it should say 30,000.
So it is saying other way around. Okay.
Right, other way around. Okay, so click
Yeah.
on OK. Now what is going to happen? Will that impact your values? It depends, because you see right now even you'll get the same result, no problem at all. But like the way Prabhas have said, it should start with the lowest value to highest value. Suppose
Correct.
if you start the condition directly with if it is less than 5, then your always value will always be this 30,000 only. Because if I straight away tell if it is lesser than 5, then it will 30,000. And then you will say lesser than 4.5, then it's say 20,000, it will bypass, because the first
Yes.
condition
Only
itself is
four.
taking a highest condition.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Correct.
Mm.
You can
Yeah,
use it that way as well.
yeah, that's what see, our looping of if formula says the logic that you should always have an order, either smallest to largest or largest to smallest. So what
Yes.
my point is, rather making it as and combination, unless and until it's required, we can go for a simple if formula like this, the way we do. Is it going to have a different impact?
Repeat that one more time.
My question is, rather writing if and combination in the DAX formula, DAX expression,
Yes.
Yeah.
the simple if logic and putting it
Mm.
in order, like your ascending or descending order, if you keep it, logic remains the same. But is it going to
Yes.
give an impact in terms of space occupancy or something else? It will be having any
No,
other.
no, no. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely
Okay,
nothing.
okay,
So
But the only thing is when you are writing this methodology, we are adding the way you are writing. Let's say, for example, this methodology of the way learning and or, like using the nested if condition in Excel, right? How you are going to use it in the Power BI is what the whole intention is. You can write your logic the way you have told, no problem at all.
no, that means here, Lakshmi, if I put that professor said instead of putting and means adding add with this if formula, if I put that directly what we did just now,
Yes, it will work out, no problem at all. No impact, nothing. Your answers will always be the same.
but in the Excel it will be impacted. So that's why. But in
Yes, in
Power,
Excel it is impacted, but here it is not.
yeah, yeah, that's the difference here. Got it.
Yes. Because yes, rightly he mentioned, because of using lengthy formulas, the file size, everything becomes more. Here there is no kind of limit over there. You can write your formulas in any way. There is no
Yeah,
impact over the file size increasing or decreasing.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Understood. Yeah, got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Srikant, I
S-
just have one question. Means the
yes.
formula which we have written,
Hmm.
you were showing one window that automatically that if was coming, the
Oh,
blocks
but
and all.
that is because we have used if condition in the formula, right? In the formula we are using the if condition.
Yeah,
Correct.
yeah, this window. How we can?
It is because we are using the if condition. So there is specifically here called the conditional column. You
Okay,
see on the top,
yeah, the
whenever you are
conditional
using
column.
if, yeah, whenever you are using if, it is a condition, correct?
Correct.
Huh. We could straightly get into this conditional column. This is way you will see your box. You can write it this way. But if you're writing this methodology, you will lose the focus of writing a normal DAX formula. So that's the reason why I'm teaching you
Okay,
the DAX formula in a normal way. But when you double click
got
on that, it identified automatically it's a conditional column. So that's the reason why it is showing you
yeah.
the conditional
So
column for a better way.
automatically, yeah,
So
got it. Yeah.
if I double click in the conditional column, it should come, right?
But you need to select this. If I click on the conditional column, it will treat as a new one right now.
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
But if the one which you already have written on the applied step, when you double click on this, that it will automatically come as a conditional column.
Oh, okay.
Because the complete formatting is matching with the conditional column.
But
Yes,
it is not coming.
because there you have written and conditions, right? We have written end condition.
Mm,
Suppose, for
yeah,
example, okay,
if I
I'll
if
see
I
this.
select the gear column, gear icon, where it is added, yeah, then it's coming the same, the custom column and something.
It is coming up because the reason why in between of the condition we have written end between 0 to 4,
Okay,
4 to
okay.
4.5. So there is an
Mhm.
upper and lower boundary, correct? In that upper
Mhm.
and lower boundary, it cannot able to accommodate it here.
So now you just change the formula to the ifs, not and.
Yeah,
That's why. Okay.
that's it. If it just have only if condition everywhere, only if
Mhm.
condition, then it will
Mhm.
apply it as in the conditional column.
Okay. Okay.
If you are using if and if or with this kind of logicals, then it will not allow you because it will not show it in the conditional column. It will show it in the normal custom column itself.
But it is also itself is a conditional, right? Why it
It
is
is
not?
also condition, but there is an upper and lower boundary, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
See, for example, you see, I'm writing the conditional column here. I selected the conditional column.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say aggregate rating.
Okay.
It says equal, correct? Greater than or equal to is a statement. I say 0. Then what is the output? But my condition is there is one more condition in between. If it is greater than or equal to 0 and there is lesser than 4, where should I accommodate that lesser than 4?
Okay, 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 okay.
Only then
Yeah.
the output, consolidated output should become as exclude, correct?
That
That
means
it
we
is,
can use only single conditions, not multiple, right? It's
it's a
like
single
that?
condition, like this is a condition. See, if the aggregate rating is greater than or equal to, or not like that, it's a reverse condition I'm writing now. Lesser than or equal to 4. It's a reverse condition. Then give me say it as exclude.
Okay.
And the clause else if aggregate rating is less than or equal to 4.5. We are only giving one condition. We are not clubbing multiple conditions here.
And
Then
that's
it
why
should say good.
and that's why I'm saying that if I want to club these multiple conditions, then I need to use the custom column.
Custom column.
Yeah.
Then it should say excellent.
Yeah.
Otherwise around, give me as null value, or either you can tell me here no rating, something like this.
Okay. Whatever. Yeah.
See, now you got this value. When I double click on this, it will again show me into the conditional column only.
Can we see the formula what conditional form column is giving to us?
This is a formula.
Okay.
From here.
Okay. Okay.
But it is bit easy formula than what I have. Not easy actually. Means we have to write less actually.
No, nothing like that. As I told you, like see, it is just the way if you're aware of your conditions and everything is perfect without you don't have a lowest boundary and highest boundary. It's a straight case. You can use this methodology as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But making you understand, because tomorrow you might have an requirement that you might have to use a and or condition. Then how will you do?
Yes. 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 Understood.
That's the reason why I'm opting that methodology.
Yeah. In general, it will work, but some condition it may not work.
Yes, not for every condition it will not be.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a simple DAX, but you're going to learn more on the DAX conditions. I'll give you more DAX conditions on the later stage. So as of now, what you can do is you can just keep this data as it is. Now you have got 22 columns. 22,
Yes.
23 columns.
Yeah. 23. Now it's added one more. Yeah.
Now it is 23 columns, right? So now
Yeah.
you can do it. Click on the close and apply. Once you click on the close and apply, again, as I told you, you will see a box which is loaded only with the consolidated table loaded, because it is the only place where it is where we have done the changes, not the any other data set.
So we need to go to the loaded. Yeah. Now it's evaluating.
It will take you back to the Power BI screen automatically.
Yes. 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 It is.
Now you understood, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now see, when you are on the Power BI screen, on the left hand side before the above the data model view, you see another view called data view. So click on the data view. Above the model view, there is a grid icon.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
That is called the data view. Click on the data view.
Okay. Yeah.
So once you click on the data view, you will see on the right hand side that complete table is available. And if
Yes.
you observe this table, now the total number of rows, it is showing 9550. This is regardless of in the Power Query screen. If you remember that, we have spoken about the first 1000 rows in the previous class.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But on the Power BI screen, it will not show first 1000 rows or first 200 rows. It will show you the entire data set. Even if it
All.
is 1 lakh rows of data or 2 lakh rows or 10 lakh rows of data, every information will be shown up here in the data view.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So on your right hand side, you will see all the tables, whatever the tables that you have loaded, you will see every information here.
Yes.
Does it show to everyone?
Yeah, 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 same.
Okay. So this is on the data view where you can see your complete spreadsheet with all the values loaded here. Everything will be shown up on this particular page. Okay.
What are you saying, Lakshmi? Last sentence I missed it.
No, I said on the data view in the Power BI screen, you will see
Mm-hmm.
the entire data set like a spreadsheet.
Ah, okay, 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 okay. Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what is the use of this data view? Data view will allow you to see your complete information from on the Power BI screen, whatever the data you have loaded, you will see the entire data here onto the data view screen. Now, apart from this, what else you can do on the data view? As I told you, you remember the statement I have told, the DAX formulas, right?
Mm. Mm.
The DAX formulas are of three different types. One is your direct DAX method where you are applying it on the Power Query screen, or here you can apply it. Second form is in the form of a measure and a calculated column. Now I'll show you the calculated column first, then we'll get into the data, into the measure. Then you will understand what is the difference between a calculated column and what is a measure. Now let's say, for example, this particular consolidated data have restaurant ID, country code, city, restaurant details, and there are few of the demographics, right? Out of all the demographics, there is an average in the USD, correct? There is a
Yes.
column called average in the USD. Let's say, for example, if I want to see the total average of the USD, which means the sum of the average in the USD column. In general, in an Excel file, if you have the data like this, what will you do?
Sorry, sorry, come again. Say again, once again.
Just imagine this is your
Mm-hmm.
Excel spreadsheet.
Okay.
I want to have the sum of this average USD, average in USD column. I need to know the sum of this.
Okay. So
So what will you do normally in general in Excel? What will you do?
put the subtotal formula or some formula.
Either you'll put a sum formula, either you will put
Yeah.
a subtotal formula,
Subtotal.
or
Yeah.
either you select the column here, you will see the statistics here on the
That is,
screen.
yeah, yeah, here also, yeah. And
Correct?
yeah.
Now, if I want to know the sum of this value, how do I do it? Now here, there is no option for me where I'm looking at the sum of value, but using the custom column, okay, sorry, calculated column, I can bring in the data in a new column here. You see now what I'm going to do. I'm going to the data view for this. I'm going to click on the data view, and on the top, okay, on the top, when I click on the home, on the top, either I click on the home or either I click on the home column tools, sorry, on the home tab, okay. I have an option here called um, new column, okay. I have a column option called new column, or either I can do it this way. On the consolidated table under the data view, on the consolidated table, right click here, okay, anywheres, you will see a new column. So I click on the new column, then you will see there is a column name added here, and you will also see the same thing on the formula bar. You see on the formula bar, there is a new column added. Now I'm going to give a name to this. Say average cost in USD. I'm just mentioning here like this. This is the column name I have given, average cost in the USD. And after is equal to, I'll just mention average. Under the consolidated table, I need to have the column here, average in the USD. So I'm going to select this column, close the bracket, click on the enter. Now, what is the value that you are able to see, everyone?
Average cost in USD.
What is the result here?
Average for the USD.
Right.
Yeah.
So you see the result as average in the USD. There is only
Yeah.
one value here.
Yes.
What did you understand
8.8.
for this?
It is coming average of total.
Yeah. In data view, under the data view, whenever you are creating a calculated column is nothing but it will give you a consolidated value across every row.
Okay.
Srikanth, can we limit the decimals? Any
Yes, you
option?
can limit the decimal. Yes. When I select this average cost in the USD right now on the top, you will see the column tools. Click on the column tools. Here you will see first thing is the data type.
Yeah.
It is
Okay.
decimal number. I'm okay with this. Format. I can mention this as decimal number again on the format. And the moment when say select the decimal number, it is reduced to 2.
Decimal.
Now you see the value is 10.82.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. 2 decimals.
This is a second form of the DAX. Okay, the one what you saw earlier in the DAX is the straight method. This is a second form of the DAX, but this is called calculated column or custom column within the data view. So instead of saying custom column in the data view, we name it as calculated column.
So Srikanth, whatever we have done the work here, that will get added in that consolidated, right? Means when we go to transform and check.
Yes, it will be. Yes, it will be.
Okay.
But the
What are the
measures,
different?
sorry, but the measures you are adding, measures, whatever you are adding will not be applicable back onto your Power Query screen. Okay, it will still lie only on the Power BI screen.
Once again, please.
Suppose, for example, I have added the average cost in USD. This is a new column, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, earlier, how many columns you have got?
23.
23.
Now you have added 24th column here,
24th, correct.
right? So anything that you are adding custom here, okay, will not be applicable onto your transform data. Suppose, for example, when I click on the transform data, okay,
Okay.
and go to the consolidated table,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, if I go to the right hand side, the data table, whatever you have added there, will not be applied here. Reason being, measures, calculated columns will not be applied onto your query screen. It will only
Oh,
work on your
Okay.
Power BI screen.
Okay.
that data
Okay.
session.
Yes. But other than that, let's say, for example, you're adding anything over here, any custom
Mm-hmm.
add, let's say any month or any date or anything will be captured. These are anything added through the form of DAX will not be captured onto your Power Query screen.
Mm-hmm.
How do I change the decimal? This is a have you shown the, one second?
Okay, you need to select this column where you have added the custom column, right? You need to select that
Yeah.
column.
Okay.
Go to the
And
column
then
tools on
column.
the top
Okay, and 2 decimal. Okay, instead of
in the
auto, right?
format. In the format, the data type is decimal number, but the format you need to select to the decimal number. That is when it will automatically constrain to 2. If you want to increase or decrease the decimal number, you can increase it here by increasing or decreasing the number.
So just I'm showing my screen. Is it okay?
Yes, please.
Yeah, just a second. Is it fine?
Yeah, that is the one. Yes.
Okay, now it's fine, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we understood what is custom calculated column, everyone.
So that means
Yes.
calculated column means it is some formula is already built up. So we need to just select on the formula. But the difference is the DAX formula. We need to create a some formula. That's the difference, right?
See, I'll put it in this way. See, one methodology, method one in the earlier screen, in the method one, what you have done, you're
Hmm.
doing a calculation of multiplication, correct, between
Correct.
two
Means
columns.
manually we are doing it.
Yes, you're doing it manually, correct.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is applied for each row by row. That is where you are going to see this value like 5.24, 2.6. This is a mixture of two different values, correct? Cost for
Correct.
2 into 2 USD. That is the
Yeah,
multiplication value.
yeah.
That is one method of DAX.
Hmm.
And you also have added the custom column. You remember like good or excellent or anything.
Yes,
That
yes,
is
yes.
also that is also method one of DAX. Method
Yeah.
two of DAX, what it says, you're not doing row by row. You're not
Mm.
doing row by row. You're adding a consolidated value for the values in a single column. You're doing a consolidated value. Like, for instance, when I
Yeah.
select this column, I want to know the sum or average of this column.
Mm-hmm.
How do I know that? In Excel, you are using sum formula, subtotal
Mm.
formula, or anything, correct?
Yeah. Yes, yes.
But here, you are using the same sum or average formula using using calculated column. So in the calculated column, it is giving you the consolidated value for each row.
What does it mean is calculated means calculated column means when where actually we are going to calculate, right? That is
Yeah,
called
when you're if you want to calculate, say if I want to
mm-hmm.
calculate the sum of this column, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
I want to use the sum of this column value somewhere within the data set,
Mm-hmm.
then you are using a custom column, or
Yeah.
then you are using a calculated column within the Power BI. Let's
But
say,
it's
for example, this is a column, right? I gave average. Instead of average, let's say I want to use a sum here.
mm-hmm.
I gave the sum and enter. Now you will see the value changes again.
This I can understand. I just wanted to ask you that why you are saying that it is a calculated column, because it's itself is a new column which we have named it as a like average in cost or whatever it is. In the same way we have done in the previously in DAX formula, we have created one column and then we put a formula like this, or because we have
The reason being,
yeah,
in the earlier case, in the average in USD, when you have multiplied two different values,
yeah,
400 into 0.013, that
yeah,
gives you value for each individual row.
correct. So that
5.2,
output,
2.6, correct?
that output means result has come to one column, right? That is called custom column. We're saying that we have named it like
No,
the same way now here also
what I
we create.
understand that DX formula is like Excel. We can put any formula there without any limitation. We can do anything. But in the
Yes.
calculated, but in the this column calculated, we can add one column where we can say total sum, total leverage, count, something like very basic thing.
Yes. The instead of saying like total, I'm saying consolidated of a particular column for a one column value. I'm showing it in a different column. That's it.
Yes, yes, that is,
So
yeah,
very limited scope. I got it.
not limited actually.
Why are we creating in measure tab? Why are we creating in the measure tab?
Because earlier we have created average in USD, so we can create average cost in USD in the same tab.
Okay. I'll put it in this. Just try to see this value.
Mm.
See, there is a column A, there is a column B. Okay. I have got values here like 1 to 10, and I'm using the same way here. Okay. Now in the column C, I want to have a multiplication of A and B. What will I do?
Multiply is equal to multiply A into B.
Sorry, A into this value, correct?
Yeah.
Is it correct? 6 sevens are
Yeah.
42, 2 sevens 14, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it correct? Now
Yeah.
I want to have a sum of this particular column values in the column C. What will I do?
So D, the sum of this. Okay.
Yes,
So
I'll
is
say
equal to
is equal to sum,
sum and select a column.
correct?
Yeah.
Now here, what I will do is, even if I want to create sum here on the right hand side, I'll take the sum of values for all this, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just freezing it only because I want only those values.
Wait,
So if I'm applying here down, it will always be 235 anywhere.
Yeah. Right.
In this place, consolidatedly for all the cell values, I'm just giving one sum value. The same sum value is reflecting in another column for each and every row.
Okay. Mhm. So we are creating in measure tab.
Measure tab is nothing but this is, it will give you the consolidated value of all these values.
Okay.
I believe you are stuck somewhere in between, right? You're still not able to understand.
Yeah, means the basic reason that okay, I can understand it is giving all the sums, but
Okay,
what
I'll do
else?
this way. I'll do
What
this way then.
else? Yeah.
For example, I'll tell you this way. See, here I'm having the sum of all the values, which is 235,
Yeah. Right.
correct? Now,
Uh-huh.
what I will say, let's say, for example, I'm writing some formula here. Let's say total. When I say total, I'll say like this is equal to sum of all these values. You're able to see the result as 235.
Yeah.
The value is equal to this, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Either I do it here down or either I do it somewhere around. But only thing is, instead of doing it down, I'm writing it somewhere. It says total is 235, correct? This
Yeah.
is one way. Now, let's say, for example, I'm defining all these cells. I'm defining
Mm-hmm.
all these cells. Like, how do I define in Excel? I'm selecting all these cells. I'll say, let's say, this is Suchitra. I gave a name called Suchitra like this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I go back here, is equal to sum. Instead of selecting all the cells, I can still write Suchitra.
Mm-hmm. It's giving same. Okay.
It gave me the same value.
Uh-huh.
What we did, we have not selecting the cells directly, but we are writing it indirectly using your name, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Which means wherever I go in Excel, when I say Suchitra,
Mm-hmm.
does it refer to all these cells or not?
Yeah. Right.
See, when I go to the sheet, do you see? It is
Mm-hmm.
giving me the value of your name.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Let's say, for example, when I say average of those cells, which is nothing but yours, with which are with your name, is,
Mm-hmm.
does it give me a value?
Yeah. Right.
It is going to be consolidated, which means wherever I say is equal to average of those particular cells or with your name, it will return me
Okay.
only this value, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Okay.
is what it is given here in the Power BI.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
That is what we call it as custom calculated column. In the calculated column, what I told, wherever it says, I gave a name called average cost in USD. When I refer to this, which means it is exactly referring to average of this entire column. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
समझ आया?
Yeah.
This is what we call it as the second form of DEX.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Now, when I say third method of the DAX, method 3, matlab direct third method, whatever the method you have learned in Excel right now, like average of this, Suchitra, correct? You will do the same thing. You see, I'm going to create one more measure here by click on consolidated and use a measure. Okay. I will say I'm going to give a name called measure for this. Whatever the measure I want to give, any name. Let's say whatever the name you have. Um, I'll say total USD. I gave a name called total USD. Okay, what should it measure? It should always say average of the consolidated average cost in the USD. Okay, close the bracket, enter. Now what is happened? There is a measure created. You see there is a measure like this, a calculator kind of thing which has happened here.
Mm-hmm.
This is total USD, correct?
Total.
Now tell me, is there any new column added here anywhere?
No.
No, correct?
No.
Mm.
No.
But when I use the value of this, what is the value of the total USD? It should always, it will be 10.82, because in the custom column, calculated column, you're looking at the result. You're looking at the result with your eyes. But here you're not looking at the result anywhere. It is calculating in the behind. Okay,
So
whenever
that
he say total USD, it is nothing but average of the cost in USD.
that means we can use for the visualization, but it cannot be shown
Yes,
in the column.
right. Now you see when I bring in total USD onto the screen, onto the visual,
Yeah.
when I bring in the value, you see the 10.82 value.
Yes. 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 Yes.
This is the third method of tax.
So how do we create a measure from the column that you have already take
The
the
same
new.
thing. Right click here on the data table and click on the new measure.
Oh, okay, data table. Okay. New measure. Okay.
Once you click on the new measure, it will ask you what is the name, and then you're next to that you're going to write your custom calculation. What are the calculation you like? Either you want to bring as average of this particular column, or sum of the particular column, or minimum value of a certain column, maximum value, or median value, mean value, anything, whatever the possible formulas are available in the DAX. You can use any formula and you can bring in your custom calculations here.
Total USD, and then what you're taking this one?
I took the average of the average cost in USD.
Okay, average of the
See,
average.
average of within the consolidated table, there is average in USD column, right? I have taken about this.
Average, it is not coming automatically.
No,
All,
once you click on the measure, once you right click on the measure,
yeah, I've done. Yeah,
okay, you should give a name of the measure, correct?
already given. Yeah,
Then after that here, after is equal to, then you type slowly average.
space average. Yeah, it comes. Yeah. Then consolidated
Then within the consolidated table, you are using one of the column value, which is average cost in the USD.
average cost in the USD. Yeah,
And then hit the enter.
enter.
Then it will automatically get attached on your data table.
Correct. It should come in the data table. Yeah, total and USD. Yeah, it comes. Yeah,
Correct.
yeah.
Now
Now,
you want, now the problem is that in this measure you will not see either the value is correct or not,
yes, 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 yes. Yeah.
but you will only see when you bring this value onto
The
report view.
visualization. Yeah.
Only then you will able to see the value, correct?
Correct. Yeah, you're right.
Instead of that, what I gave you the option earlier is calculated column. You use the same formula in the calculated column, you will see the result here. The same result will be applied to your measure also. This is just for your check, for your reference.
Yeah, that means after putting in the visualization, then we can compare with this
Only in
calculated.
the visualization it will work out. That is what
Yeah,
exactly we are saying.
yeah, yeah. Got it. Yeah. But why do you do this like this? Is there any advantage? Because
Good
this
question.
measure, yeah.
Yeah, good question.
Mm,
Okay, as I told you, in the entire data set, okay, in the
mm,
entire
mm.
data set, for example, as I told you, like you have got the values here like this, okay. So for example, you don't want to increase the database. You're not increasing or loading your database with more number of columns,
Correct.
but you still want to calculate it. That is where you are going to rely on the measure.
Okay, got it.
As I told you, like measures where you can use it. You can use it here, do some custom calculations like year on year growth. If I want to calculate the data for year on growth, then that is where you are going to see. Maybe if I have to give you a simple example over it, if you are working on the pivot table, you remember there is an option called calculated field in the pivot table.
Yes, 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 it is. Yeah.
Why you are using a calculated field? Because you're not
This,
having
getting the
any,
more data.
exactly, you're not having any direct methodology
Yeah.
where your column is giving you the result. So you're adding a calculated field. Okay, that calculated field is nothing but your calculated column in the Power BI.
Yeah.
Now you're not loading. Now what you're doing is you're not even loading your increasing your database, but still it can calculate it for you using a measure.
So it's nothing but not to put more data, or maybe having more
Yes,
data, so instead of uh, putting the visualization. So if I
yes,
want to put, yeah. So the same way actually Excel we have done in formulas, that Provas has said that if I put more if formula something,
it is going to
just
increase the file size.
file size. Yeah, the same way it is working in Power BI.
Yes,
That
in
was
Power BI, the data, the file size will keep on increasing when you're having more number of columns.
correct. Correct. Yes.
Now,
Okay.
if you look at any one of the Power BI report which has been created by your organization or your expertise and people who are there in your organization, trust me, you will see more number of measures and more number of calculated columns over there.
Not DAX
No one is
formula.
interested to increase your database. Everyone are interested to use formulas intelligently in your Power BI using the measure option.
Okay.
Got it.
Right?
This is the smartest way to do this. Yeah.
Now, this is the smartest way. So that is where I have told you, when people will say, what is so complex in the DAX formula? DAX formulas are not complex, but the way you write the DAX formulas or utilize the DAX formulas within the Power BI, that is very complex in nature.
Yeah. Looks in Sims is complex. Yeah. Correct.
It is, this concept, what you are going to learn is completely related to your mathematics. Why? I'll tell you in a very simple method. How many of you are aware of a plus b square formula? A plus b whole square,
A
one of
will
our
be
favorite formulas in
Yes.
yeah
Plus two.
mathematics.
A
Is
square B square plus 2AB.
Correct? Everyone know about this formula.
correct.
true.
Correct. Correct.
Now you know the formula very well. You know the formula very well. What if I give you the value for a and b? That is where you'll get the result out of it. Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Correct.
Yes.
A plus b whole square is just an equation. Correct? But when you pass the variables, when you pass the values to that variables like a and b, that is where you're going to see the result, right?
Yeah.
True.
Now in Power BI, you're going to create the equations using the measures.
Okay.
So it is so much complex. That is what I am going to tell you right now. Whatever you have done, this is measure is a very simple basic method. Very simple, very simple basic method. There is a complex way of writing the measure also. Okay, very complex way of writing the measure. Like how now what we have done, we are using cost for 2 into 2 USD value. That is where you are getting average in USD. After
Correct.
that, you are doing an average of the average in USD. That is where you are getting this value as 10.82. Do you agree, everyone?
Yes. Yes. It is.
Right now, there is a methodology in Power BI where you can do a complex formula like I'm going to write a biggest measure. Okay, I'll show you it in
Okay.
another class. However, I'm just giving you some sort of understanding. You see,
Idea.
this is a measure. What I'll say, I'll use a shift answer. Here I'll say variable A. Let's say variable A is equal to uh, sum of average cost in the average cost for the two. Okay. Then variable B is equal to, again I'll use the same thing called sum of average in the instead of average in cost. Okay, this is average in the cost in USD. Okay, then I will say calculate A into B. Okay, then return measure is equal to average of, or let's say the calculate A into B, right? So I'll say C is equal to A into B. Okay, then average of C.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Then return average of C. Anyways, this is not correct, but I'm just giving you. So this is how you can create a complex measure if you want, which means you are passing one variable, one of the value, and you are passing another variable. Then you are going to see calculate C.
Multiple.
Okay, so I'll say return C. Something like this. I'm just, I mean, there could be some issues with the data. That's a different story. But this is where I'm saying that you can actually bring in some values over here.
That means mathematically it is actually the connected actually. So that
It is,
means
yes, it is connected mathematically. So the complex way of writing the formulas is this way in the measure.
yeah. Mm.
So I'm not
Mm.
taking you directly into this method, but what we are looking at right now is a simple way where you are
Mm.
going to just write a simple measure. Because once you understand this methodology, right, of
Yes.
simple way of writing this measure, then trust me, once you're thorough with this, then I can show you the complex way of writing the simple measure formula.
Okay. Got it.
You got the flavor of the Power BI of the measure, DAX
Yeah.
measures.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
We'll see more DAX again
Mm.
once we build the report. The entire report has been built. Then we'll concentrate more on the DAX, like different kinds of conditions, like what if there is a date, how do you deal with the dates? What if there is another methodology, like a VLOOK, not a VLOOKUP, maybe count ifs, count A, count blanks. So I'll show you some simple measures with the different methodologies. Then you'll
Okay.
get more idea about it.
Mm. Yeah.
So far, understandable?
Yes.
Okay. So to refresh everything, in the day one class, what we have done is we understood how do you know the loading of the data from a standalone application of an Excel, or
Yeah.
as I told you that you can connect to any of the data source, and then how you can load the data source onto the Power Query. And after loading the data onto the Power Query, what have you done? You also understood how do you know the how do you consolidate few of the tables, and you also
Yes.
have understood how do you create a VLOOKUP using the merge query methodology, how you can able to create,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And how
Yeah.
do you
Right.
add a custom column? How do you add a simple tiny columns? And
Yes.
simple methodologies you have done on the day one.
Mm.
On the day two, what you have learned, whatever the data that you have learned on the Power BI, sorry, on the Power Query, you are loading the same thing back onto the Power BI, and then you are able to identify a different kind of models. How do you
Yeah.
create a complex model? How do you break the models into bits and pieces? And what is the cardinality, like one-to-one relationship, one to many, many to one, and many to many? So
Yes.
you understood the model view completely, how you can able to understand. So if you don't create a connection, what will be the impact over using a slicer in the report?
Yeah. Yeah.
What if you are creating a connection, how it will create your impact? So
Mm.
you can connect different tables on the Power BI using the model view, so that you
Yeah.
can slice and dice the data at any given point in time.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you also did understood about writing a simple DAX formulas like if condition, like the two methods, either giving an upper boundary and lower boundary, how you can write it using if and or conditions, or you can write in a simple if conditional formulas also. Then
Yes.
you're also looking at what is a simple DAX, how it looks like. Method one, it's a simple direct DAX. Method two, using the same DAX, using a custom calculated column, how it looks in. And again, the same method, you're using it in a measure where you're not seeing any result over there, but you will use it in the visualization,
Yeah.
right? So this is what you have learned so far in the journey.
Yeah.
Now on the next journey, what you're going to learn is you are going to see the same data into the report view and start, how do you start creating the visualizations? How do you impact your data more in terms of the visualization and add value to your data, and then show how their data is talking and how it represents to the people, and what are the different methodologies that you can look in when you're doing the visualizations. And you'll also see whatever the total visualizations that we have. I will cover up all the visualizations whatever we have here. Apart from Python and Orange script, I'll give you the other methods. Okay, once it is completed, then I will give you a concentration more on the DAX side, give you more complex DAX solutions, like how you can use some complex DAX methodology using variables and other methodologies. Okay.
So you're saying
Okay.
that it's Python, or is it you're going to give a idea about the language, or?
No. Python and R, I'm not going to cover up anything because this requires again a special edition components that needs to be added. Along with it, it also needs organization account.
Okay, yes.
So wherever the organization account is required, I cannot able to give you an understanding, because maybe one or two are using the company's laptop. Few of them are using personal laptop as well. So probably it could not be 100% balanced way when I go into that.
Okay.
But the basic things that needs to be covered onto the desktop application, where you need to create a report and everything, will be covered for sure.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Anything else? Any questions so far on the topics that we have discussed today?
Mm,
Nothing from my side.
Are we good so far? Is it a good learning? Everything
Yes,
is
yes,
going good?
fantastic. Fantastic.
Yeah, it's good to hear.
Okay, good. Suchitra, do you have any questions? Samir and
If I
Suchitra?
have a query in between a week, can I send a mail
Yes,
about it?
yes, you can. You can just send an
Okay.
email. I think there should be a WhatsApp group created for you guys, I guess.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
You can drop in over there as well, not a problem. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm.
Samir?
No queries, Shrikant, as of now.
Okay. See,
Sir,
I would
could you give
request.
me some tips to how can we can do better practice or excel on this?
Huh, that's
Just
what
some
I'm about to
directional
just,
things.
yeah, that's what about to say that. So what I would say, whenever you get a time, okay, you get into the real time scenario, don't take a complex report, get into a complex report and then play around with. Try to play around with a medium complex data, and then
Mhm,
try to apply the solution like whatever we have discussed so far. Try
mhm.
like loading of your data into the Power BI, cleaning of the data, anything that you require that you can do it, and try to use any kind of a simple DAX formulas, and then also see how you can able to do it with your own database. That is where you will have your 100% practice.
Got it.
If you think you're not having enough data, you can still practice the same data what you're having right now, as said, like by making a copy of your data set, and then you can redo this job, the whole job.
Okay.
Or try with your own data with a little medium complex. Don't go with a very complex data. Go with the medium complex and then try and then see if you are able to apply the same thing back to your data set. If you are stuck anywhere, do let us know. That is where I can give you the helping hand to push, so that you'll understand how you can able to play around with your own data. Okay.
Okay.
All right, then I will see if I can able to get more number of questions by next week with your own data when you play around. That is where
Yeah.
I will understand you are practicing more, and just keep practicing it. Don't lose this momentum. Keep practicing. You will be into you'll get a good hands-on experience. Okay.
Yes.
Right,
Yes.
right.
All right, then we'll take a leave, and we'll
Mm.
catch up the next week then.
Sure. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks
Thank you, sir.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
So say